Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma. Welcome. I'm not completely set up yet. Don't mind as I continue to. What is it? Chair and frame, whatever. Hello. Don't mind me as I'm still continuing to set up. I was hoping, to stream today, and then today's gonna be a short stream because I'm a little bit against the clock yet again. But I only have like a little under 2 hours to be streaming, so. Still gotta set things up though. This and this and so today we're making lasers. We're gonna attempt to make lasers. Okay, that's fine. That looks fine. Okay, background music is a go. Am I forgetting something? Oh, my Trello board. Hold on. Don't mind me as I still do some setup. Well, okay, Trello board. Ooh, I can show at least some stuff on things. Wow, that's. Actually, some of this is gonna be changed, but that's fine. Actually, these two things are kind of irrelevant now. Whatever, not important. Hello. So, I was gone for a couple days. I'm busy. Some things, and I'm busy. Where do I even start? Okay, well, first, actually, if I want to be actually finishing the thing that I want to be doing today, rather than doing introductory ramble and then working on stuff, it would be more advantageous to be working on stuff and rambling at the same time, in theory. Also, again, way too hot. This thing coming off immediately. But desk can stay standing for now. Short version is that I'm going to be moving soon, so won't be in this location for much longer. So because of that, I am very imminently going to be super busy, and so streams probably won't be happening as much, if at all, until after the move, and then there'll be new location, and then gotta get set up with everything. And I think after that point, then I will probably be at a more stable point of being able to stream more regularly. But yeah, we'll see how long that actually takes. Headphones are right beside the mic playing audio, so I don't know how much of that was picked up, but oh well, it's fine. Laser redirecting lasers. Okay, so so here is the sitch with what I want to do here. You may notice that we're still in the same scene of the animation that's playing down there, which, for anyone who was here last stream, looks a little bit different than it did at the end of last stream. I did some small tweaks, whatever. And then you can notice that like the video file itself from the end of last stream was like more blurry than it should have been and did stuff sounds like higher quality or whatever. Oh wait, I missed a step with my setup. Yeah, setting up to do a stream takes like not just open up OBS and go. I have things to do that would be cool to be more automated eventually, but not at the moment. Where is? Well, I have like a stream notification thing. It's broken at the moment, and it's on my to-do list to make it unbroken. But for now, gotta do that manually. Okay. A lot of things on the list of things I'm gonna be doing, and slowly one by one we're gonna be knocking things off that list. But for now, I'm still like busy. Busy with like me moving, but then also in terms of content stuff, all different things that I'm making. So right now we're doing something that's like on the list of just things that I wanted to do. That in theory shouldn't take in theory this won't take as long as it did to make the conveyor belts because that had a lot more initial setup of this scene and all that. Unity project in general and experimenting with actually like the formatting and like the size or whatever. You may even notice that so my webcam is slightly different formatted from end of last stream, and that's only because I don't know how, but in OBS it like broke and I had to manually like completely reposition it. I think this outline is thinner than it was before, which I guess means that I'm like a pixel bigger, but whatever. It was a pain to get back to be exactly right. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, let me start doing stuff here. The reason I'm in the same Unity project, I was considering whether I'd make a new project just for this, but right now we have conveyor animation down there. In theory, this laser thing specifically could turn into another, I don't exactly know how, like I don't have like so when I made the conveyor thing, I went into it with more of a plan of what it would look like as an animation down there. With the laser thing, that's more like, oh, I just have things I've never done in Unity that I want to do, and then yeah. But that's more with stuff like make a character do a ledge grab or whatever. This is a much more like smaller thing, which is why I'm doing it now, because I'm not ready to like get a character to do ledge grab. There's a lot more like prep work we got to do before that. Like I want to make a character to do that, but like make a basic character that can run around to then use for a few of these things I want to learn that are more character focused. But anyways, that's yeah, stuff we'll get to eventually. So I guess, I mean, these aesthetics don't have to be the same as this, but for right now, what I'm gonna do is yeah, work in this scene, top down, just have lasers. We'll start with like it basically being 2D for now, although we'll write the code with 3D stuff in mind and then make it more 3D-ified. Maybe it can work in a 3D-ified way. And then, I don't know if like, as an animation in there, just a little like bling, 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 bling kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm, yeah, trying to go a bit fast. I don't have all the time in the world is 10:25. I got basically till midnight because, yeah, busy. So, I'm being all over the place. I apologize. Because I'm trying to both start working, like, go right into what it is I want to be doing here today, but then also explain, like, the overall of what we're doing and why we're doing and whatever. So, okay, what? So, do I give the small recap on the thing? Does I give the quick recap? So, or on just some stuff that we're doing and what we're working towards, whatever. So I make Unity stuff, whatever. Okay. Jeez. Off to a great start. Be able to word things elegantly, I know. Whoa. Okay, so, in terms of stuff that I'm making and / will be making, the next overall thing that I want to be making, so I make Unity YouTube tutorials. The next thing that I'm working towards is making the next of that. And not just that, but a couple, perhaps. So I've made tutorials before. Technically, I've made 14. Almost say 15, but I don't really count the 15 one. Yeah, so I haven't made a tutorial in a while, that's kind of the main YouTube content that I want to be making at the moment. So I kind of just wanted to focus on making more of them, and I'm starting to plan several. The first one that I'm going to be doing actually is going to be relating to that grid game that I made many streams ago. It's the 9-day challenge thing. So I'm taking something that I did in that, mainly the something that I sort of stumbled upon and then was like, whoa, that's cool. I didn't really realize that was a thing you could do, or the implications of thing that you could do. And that was how I made an animation of character moving up, physically moving, not just animating in place, but actually animation where they moved upwards. And then was able to write code in late update to be able to use that same animation and apply it going down, left, and right. And I always want to turn that. I'm still figuring out the finer details of it, but sort of make a combined video that's like both a tutorial on that, just showing that that's a thing, and in the context of, I guess, how I did it with the animation. Reusing one animation in multiple contexts, in multiple directions, I guess, in that case. And also just talking a bit about the fact that I made a game in 9 days, and here's what it looks like. Although I think more of the focus will be on the tutorial, because I want to keep it small and condensed, and yeah. And then after that, I'll be doing more proper tutorials. I can consider that a proper tutorial, but more tutorials that are just about, here's an interesting thing in Unity or whatever. I have a few things written down, but the order of some things might change. So this laser thing isn't that. Is the laser thing on that list? I don't think it is. It might be. The conveyor thing is a maybe thing on that list. That conveyor thing that's right down there, that might be one tutorial in the near-ish future. I say it's still going to be a while before I even finish the first one on the list. But yeah. So I'm still planning a lot of that, which is why I'm not currently. I want to be doing streaming stuff, but I'm not ready to do stream working on that. So this is almost like a filler, like a filler thing of like, I'm still planning stuff on my own with this tutorial. So in the meantime, we're doing some stuff with this. I do want to make some custom Unity tools, sort of, that are going to help with the format, the style, some stuff that I want to be in that video, and will actually be possibly in several of the tutorials. So we will be doing some stuff like that, and it's going to be like, yeah, working on some of this Unity stuff during the streams, and then me planning stuff and writing a script and all that outside of streams. Although, because I said I'm about to be moving, I'm definitely not going to be recording anything for it until after the move, probably, so it's consistent. I don't want the background to change halfway through the video. Yeah, so that's a thing that's on my agenda, stuff that I'm working towards. Part of it's actually, I guess part of it's on this Trello board. Whoa, which, okay, this not important. This is obsolete in a way. And this, I'm also going to say that there's going to be a whole thing to make the crates down there look completely different and more detailed. But I'm going to say that I'm fine with them how they are, where they're detailed enough but simplistic enough that that's another thing that I want to dedicate a whole stream to right now. So right now we're doing the lasers and then more things. I have this list of things I've never done in Unity that can eventually be there on streams of just, yeah, making cool stuff. Some of it, I mean, as before, it's like filler, not really filler. It's like stuff that I want to do, increasing my own Unity skills and like all that. But also, this is stuff that I could then potentially use in future games. The likely thing being the Handyman with the Unicycle and the Ultra Tag. I need to rename that at some point. Like, it's on my list to come up with a better name for it, but whatever. Anyways. So that's also stuff that obviously go towards. Like this laser thing, I imagine that could be used as just, yeah, hazards. Jump over them as they're moving or whatever. I think that's one thing with these redirecting lasers. I don't fully know how else is going to work, but ideally it'd be cool that, like, yeah, at runtime, you know, whatever the laser is reflecting off of can, you know, turn, and the laser is turned in different directions or whatever. You know, we'll see how that exactly works. Which I don't actually, this is also, you know, this is experimental. I don't know how this is going to go. I could spend most of the stream just fumbling around with stuff that isn't working, or I could, you know, stumble onto something that actually is working. We'll see. I have ideas. I'm going into this with a game plan, not going completely from scratch. And I'm sure that if I Google enough things, I can just find, like, exactly what I'm looking for, but I haven't done that quite just yet. I have ideas, and we're going to try to execute them and then see how that goes. Anyways, where am I going with my own train of thoughts? So just stuff I'm working on is working on YouTube video stuff, but still, that's like ongoing. There's still a lot of planning that I need to do before that's going to be like stream content to then actually, you know, make those videos, have them be done. There's just a big list of cool things that I think would be cool. Most of them, well, okay. Combination of some that are more programming focused and some that are more visual, like more graphical stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that goes in the interchanging between those kind of things. Yeah, so I have tutorials that I want to make, and stuff's going to go into that. And then after I've made a couple tutorials, then I want to make some as practice for making cutscenes in games that I'm going to be making, mainly Handman with the Unicycle and Ultra Tag, both of them. I want to basically just do some practice making in-engine Unity cutscenes, and practice that by making little Unity animated shorts. Like, I could do something completely in Blender, but I'm gonna purposely do stuff that's like, you know, entirely in Unity. It's like cutscene practice of in Unity stuff. Anyways, so that's also kind of stuff that I'm working towards, and definitely more things that I'm just forgetting off the top of my head. I'm gonna ramble about, but whatever. So let's enough rambling about stuff. Let's get to the focus of what we're actually doing here, shall we? So what we're doing here is, I want to do one other little thing is just that, yeah, there's an animation down there that I have that's looping constantly because I think it's cool, and also I like the desktop to be covering the whole, like, my webcam not obstructing it in any way. I like that. And then it's cool just having, like, oh, here's the thing, it's like, it's, you know, cool programming with, like, look at the conveyor thing that it's like hopping up and down, like, it's, you know, physicsy and whatnot. It's awesome. Ideally we're gonna be making more of those. Like this laser thing, like, I mean, that could be a thing where every time I'm like, oh, let's just make a thing in Unity and learn stuff, like, new stuff I haven't done before. It doesn't have to be a rule that each one of them has somehow become an animation for down there to cycle. But this laser one, I could see that could potentially happen. But right now it's just like I you know, have the thing that's running in the scene, and then I I have the thing that's running in the scene, and then I, render it as video running from however many seconds, and then I just have a video file running down there. The solution for after I have more stuff set up, I have my old computer that I want to get to be running a build of whatever the animation thing is. Have it be running constantly, and then that sort of live feed going into Unity rather than live feed going into OBS, the stream, rather than it being a pre-recorded video that loops. Because then one, it doesn't have to loop. The idea is that there, rather than just being like, oh, it's looping animation, it's like actually being like something that's running all the time that can have randomness to it. Random programming that's happening that allows random cool stuff to happen. I think that could be way more visually interesting. Be like, oh, cool coding things. Basically, even just having like a little bit of a mini game-ish type thing down there, or AI NPCs that doing stuff, some degree of randomness to it, and then we can make hopefully a lot of cool stuff. And then by having multiple, then we can swap them out from time to time, and just that would be cool. Can even be a random timer at first. Like ideally, all of them are going to be in the same Unity project, so that it's just a matter of switching the scenes. That's why I'm doing all this from one big Unity project, and potentially things will be able to change, share code. Right now, it also has the art style of being all like bright and vibrant. They don't all have to have that. I can make different ones that have completely different like aesthetics, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. I know for right now though, this is just easy enough to like, let's just work off this sort of grid pattern, just make lasers. There's also you find that the juggling the balance between like just programming the thing, getting it to work, and then the graphical fidelity of it. Like with these lasers, I don't know how far we're gonna go with it. We could go super far and like make it all like, whoa, amazing, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I do know that in my experience so far of streaming stuff, that I personally find that programming stuff on stream to be more interesting than I mean, sometimes doing some of the graphical stuff. I mean, like making the conveyor belt down there. We made like the gear and the conveyor itself, setting some of that stuff up. But going too far into the graphical stuff on stream can be a little boring to watch, probably. I'm totally fine doing that kind of stuff on my own, but like, yeah, I'll be doing stuff that is cool to watch. So we're gonna start with just getting it to function, and then more of the graphical stuff might happen on my own, and then next time be like, hey, here's how it looks after graphics have been done. But we'll see. So anyway, so let's start making some stuff, shall we? So laser. Okay. we're gonna build this in stages, and the idea also isn't just it's a laser, and you can make a laser easily enough-ish in Unity by just having line renderers. Line renderers are a thing in Unity, and that's kind of what we're gonna be using a lot of. But what I want to try going the extra little bit with it is having the reflecting part. There's lasers are one thing. Having lasers that reflect is the extra thing. That will hopefully be cool. So I'm just starting here. I was hoping to maybe do some of this like setup. I'm just setting up some of these initial game objects like before I started the stream, but I didn't quite have time to. So oh well. We're gonna do a quick little bit of. We're gonna initially start with just cubes that represent ideas, and that's how that's gonna go. Let's just have you be slightly, just barely off the ground. And then blah, and we're gonna, like, as I said, I think it'll be easiest to probably program it for now, just kind of focusing on it from this like top-down perspective, just the 2D, make the math easier. Both, ideally then we make it 3D because 3D cooler, I guess. Let me just give this cube here just a random one of my grid materials. Blah, sure. This is our the thing that's gonna spit out the laser, and that's what. Well, have it be perfectly on like a nice line there. Just, probably make things easier. Let's call it. I don't know. Laser. I'm just gonna call it start. Whatever, it's fine. It doesn't need to be descriptive. So we're gonna have a laser start. Does it need an end? I mean, if it goes off to infinity, I don't know if that's gonna cause me any initial problems. But like, we'll start super easy and just be like laser start, laser end, and have a laser that like, yeah. For the most part, I think this is just gonna be having basically just having like a line render where we have the start position be wherever it is, and then ray cast out and find its end position. Like the initial laser I think will be super easy. I was hoping to maybe do most of it beforehand, but like whatever, we didn't, that's fine. Color, you're gonna be green, I guess, that's fine. If they're reflecting, then ideally this is gonna be, if it's at a 45, it like But it'd be cool as well to do it in a way where it can happen live, where if I'm, you know, rotating this around, I'm seeing the laser, like, yeah, rotating stuff. But then the initial thing, or the thing on top of that is a laser that, you know, it bounces here, bounces off this, bounces off, bounces over there. Having that laser chain that is able to not mess up. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Right. So for now, we're just going to start blang, blang, and that'll be it. So the actual laser itself, I guess, is going to start here. Well, I mean, I don't know if, like, in theory, this is the laser start thingy, then, like, if I turn this, in theory, you know, the laser coming out of it would turn as well. It would be something that we want, I guess. So, yeah, let me just, I don't want to do too much, like, graphical stuff. We'll just have a little bit of, like, what is the, you know, the front of the thing. You can be red because the laser itself is going to be red. Laser start front, and then the laser itself will be under that because, yeah. Okay, you, and then you all there. Alright, let's get to action programming, shall we? Just setting up cubes isn't the most fascinating thing. So, do I just call this laser? So, okay, what parts of this is there gonna need to be? Now I have to, like, ramble out loud with just, like, okay, what is the plan coding-wise? I have, like, the rough idea of just line, render, start, end, but now I gotta think of, like, okay, where should the code be that's handling most of this? On the laser spawn thing, on the laser itself? Does the spawn thing handle all... Thinking ahead to the redirection part, because I want to think ahead to some degree, otherwise if I don't think ahead now, that might be more troublesome later. On the spawner thing, does the spawner thing, you'd be like, shoot out a raycast, bam, like, we hit a wall... there needs to be something that makes it not infinite as well, because that would be a, you know, problem. It's something bouncing back and forth infinitely, and then, you know, recursion into bajillion game object crash UD. We don't want that. So thing for now, we'll probably define some kind of upper limit. But if a laser is bouncing back and forth at the same angle, it probably shouldn't do that. So if it... I mean, I'm thinking, the first, like, in terms of common, like, stuff that has lasers, first thing I'm thinking of is Portal, and, like, how does Portal handle it? Well, Portal just will, like, Portal doesn't necessarily reflect stuff off surfaces. It'll, like, and you have the, you know, things going through portals, but you'll have a cube that it goes into and then shoots out at just whichever way the cube is facing, so you're not really reflecting it off like a mirror. Oh, Francesco, hello. We're making lasers. We just started, basically, after a... How was it 24 minutes being rambling? I don't have a lot of time today. Well, we'll see. What was I saying? So, yeah. So, in Portal, it cheats. It doesn't cheat. It does what it needs to do for what it wants to do, which is fine. But in Portal, laser goes in, whichever way it's facing goes out, which is how we could do this, but I don't want to copy Portal directly. I want to try having it actually be like, here's a 45-degree wall, blah. So you can mark some objects as, like, mirrors and some objects as not mirrors, and then, like, if it's not a mirror, then it doesn't reflect. If it's a mirror, then it does reflect. Could do that. Or it could be allowed to bounce off of anything. Oh, so okay, another way of doing that could be interesting. If you actually treat the laser itself as having a, like a, you know, like a real light where it, you know, fades the further out it goes, where it, you know, if it bounces off of something, like, it could be a distance thing, like the total length of the laser, you know, slowly gets dimmer and dimmer until it can't reach the next surface and then it dims out. So it could either be, so to try to emulate that behavior, one, it could either be a total number of bounces, and that would, like, be close enough. It's allowed to have a maximum of 4 bounces, but where it doesn't bounce anymore. Although the idea of it actually being a distance is kind of cool. Like, that feels more, hard to say, well, I don't know, unique, because, like, there's games out there that do that kind of thing. But it's not the first thing you think of when you think lasers. Like, the first thing you think of is Portal. But in terms of, okay. So, and in terms of bounces, it's like, oh, bounce off something that's reflective and then won't bounce off something that's not. I think laser will bounce off of everything up to some distance. And I don't know if we get the line render to actually have the laser itself, like, get thinner until it stops existing, perhaps. You know, could do something like that. Or have it be like, or it could even just be like, keep the same brightness most of the way through until the last 10% of it, and then it sort of fades out. That might, you know, look more like how we might want it to look. So that's a thing, I guess. We could try having it work that way. but then have such a, like, if I have like a, a laser receptacle thingy, have it automatically end there. But then also, if it's like, again, if it's bouncing off a wall and is bouncing perfectly back at itself, should it bother going duh 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 duh? So, I mean, I guess I can just code that, like, if it's bouncing in a way that it's like, going perfectly back the way that it came, then just don't. So I could try to do something like that. We'll see. Hey, yeah, okay. So okay. So that being said, though, again, that being said, where does the code go on the lasers itself? I'm assuming. Well, will each laser bit need to be its own separate game object and thus line renderer, or can it all be one giant line? Now that I say it out loud, the initial idea was it being like, oh, it keeps instantiating new game objects for each chunk of the laser. It can probably, just, unless I'm mistaken how line renderers work, I think it can all just be one laser game object and just keep adding new points and then deleting points if we need to. Which then it's easy to make, makes it easier to make sure that one laser chunk doesn't get, like, left behind somehow if we're always just cleaning the laser. Now, how often do we have to regenerate this? Does that mean that is that something we have to do every frame to do a test with all the raycast? You'd be like, did the thing turn, yes or no? If we knew that the laser was only bouncing off of things that don't turn, then we don't have to calculate it once and then never again. If the laser, in theory, have it be bouncing off a cube that can be allowed to spin, I don't know to what degree, like, can we detect only when something that's hit off of spins or whatever, but then, how do we detect that without testing for it in a way that might involve raycasting? But, you know what Fan Expo is? Yes, I do. I do know what that is. In fact, so fun fact, I was there yesterday. Not for super long, but yeah, no, I did that. So, yeah. Wait. I was moving my mic closer, and I realized that I have it fully, like, there it is. It's like, is it gonna be? Dang, yesterday I was gonna go yesterday, but I went today. Yeah, it was super busy. It was super busy. It was actually my first time being at Fan Expo in years. It was taking my second time going. I was there, I forget if it was like early high school or like maybe like grade 8 or something like that. I forget, but yeah. I didn't dress up or anything. I didn't have time. I didn't even know for sure that I was going. I actually spent most of this month thinking I'd have to cancel on it because of how busy I've been with everything else. But then it even literally it was Saturday. Wait, today's Sunday. It was Saturday. Friday night, I was like, am I gonna have to cancel last minute? I don't know. But then I was able to barely find the time to still be able to go anyway. So, yeah, my sister went yesterday. Oh, neat. Yeah. I don't know why such an urge to keep adjusting my microphone slightly. I don't know. Actually, I haven't tested. Like, how annoying are the noises when I keep moving it around? Whatever. But you should have went the lab coat. I considered that, but then I was like, is that too low ever? Is it too low ever? I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I guess it could be. I mean, not that like, so if you're wearing a costume, people have to code, oh, what are you, whatever. I'm like, do I really want to explain? Like, I don't have time for a costume. I'm just throwing a lab coat that I happen to own. It's like, oh, I'm Cyberchroma. Don't ask what game I'm from. The idea, like, so, okay, it's like never gonna happen. The idea would be super funny would be that if between this year and next year, or whatever, no, if I make the Handyman or the Unicycle or whatever game, that gets super popular, and then I cosplay as, like, the main character of that game, or just some character from that game, that would be stupid funny, but, yeah. Not that annoying. Fair enough. Cool. I mean, it probably shouldn't be moving it in general, but whatever. Yeah. And, again, I would be wearing this. I would be wearing it more as part of my brand thing, but it's way too hot. Way too hot. The house that I'm moving into, actually, the air circulation, whatever. It shouldn't get as hot in theory. So yeah, I mean, I have a fan like right there. I just don't have it on when I'm streaming because noise and stuff. But but yeah, so I think, yeah, I won't be overheating as much in new place, in theory, potentially, yeah. I don't want to talk too much about where I'm moving, because I don't want to dox myself before I've gotten there. But my address is exactly 123 Olive Street. I don't know. I'm throwing a housewarming party. Everyone show up. No. FYI, I just made up random numbers of address 2 seconds ago. But yeah, what was I saying? Wait, step back 2 steps of whatever I was saying. Fan Expo, yeah, that happened, and that was cool and all. I didn't buy anything. I was like, it might, potentially, and that didn't happen too. I got food, but, whatever. I had things I was gonna say, and now they're all gone. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say stuff. Nope, it's gone. Okay, whatever. Anyways, okay, now that I've lost my train of thought, I guess back to lasers. Mouse. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Where was I? Made the thing. So okay, I'm gonna try having. Okay. So. Does the receptacle even need? So at first, when I was just starting to plan this, I was like, oh, well, the receptacle have to keep deleting and spawning the laser as you turn stuff around. In theory, no. I think the actual, might be weird. The receptacle itself doesn't need any code on it at all. It just is a thing that can move and turn, and then if it moves and turns, then the laser is underneath. And I guess just give the laser all the code, give it a line renderer, and then maybe that'll be fine. I'm gonna, and then, oh, also, between last stream and this stream, I did a whole bunch of cleaning up. What button did I just press? I did not press, oh, okay, yeah, just laser. I think just calling it laser is fine. It's a laser. It does the functions of being a laser. Wow. Yeah, laser can then just have all the code of being a laser and figuring out where its points need to be based on raycasting, based on where it is. One thing I'll do before I go any further, probably just make things easier to comprehend if I pivot. Your pivot point is there. I was like, why are you going up there? Just turn you. Well, turn you. I want the forward direction to be what we do all the math based on. In order to do that, I'm actually just gonna go like have the front of the cube, the proper front of the cube be that, and then just spin the cube going this way. So, code, get on this screen. Yeah, I did a bunch of cleaning up between last stream and this stream of the Unity scene itself. All like my test scenes that I had done where I was experimenting with the lighting, I got rid of them. Although I did actually put this project on like a private repository on GitHub, did start some of that. Oh, I didn't actually finish, whatever. Let me just, hold on. Just, Okay, the start of the laser stuff is in here, but whatever, that's fine. Blah, backing up your code. Woo! So if computer spontaneously combusts, you don't lose it all. Yeah. Okay, that's done. Meant to finish that up right before I started the stream, but didn't. Oh well. Now it's done. Okay, laser. How are we doing any of this? So first thing, I guess, is getting the line renderer, and then I haven't worked with line renderers in a bit. I have done stuff with line renderers before. I see, thing with this laser thing, I feel like compared to some of the other stuff that I'm going to do, it's like, oh, it's a thing I've never done before. It's going to be a struggle to make this. This, like, it's probably going to be a little bit of a struggle. I'm just going to do this now. Going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I don't think it's going to be the hardest thing in the world. It's just, yeah, and right now I don't have a lot of time, so it's like, oh, let's just do this, and yeah. I don't even know if I'll finish it in this stream, but, we'll see. It'd be funny if the first half of this laser stuff is here, and the next half is in the new house, but yeah. Which, so unfortunately with that, I said that already, but because I'm moving and soon I have to be packing, which includes packing up the computer and the desk and taking that apart, that's gonna be a pain. But yeah, streams will probably be light, if at all, until I'm fully, moved into new place. So apologies about that. But then I think at that point, I'm totally gonna jinx it. But then in theory, I think I will be able to then start getting into more of a schedule with streaming more regularly. But yeah, we'll see. Now that I've said it, of course it won't happen. Yeah, but I mean, one thing that's gonna in the near future hinder me from streaming is that the next thing I want to be doing is working on my Unity tutorial stuff. But I need to like do some prep work off stream in order to do that, and if I'm not done that prep work in time, then I have to figure out what I'm gonna do there. I could fill in some of that time, maybe playing some games on stream or whatever. Like the last stream I did before I took my hiatus was playing a game called Lost in Random that I haven't played since then. So finishing that. Oh, I've considered it, but then I'm like, no, I started on stream. I gotta finish it on stream. Although, like, so one thing that's unfortunate is that the VOD of that exists on my VOD channel. Unfortunately, I didn't set up stuff right for that stream, and that stream VOD looks really bad. Like, the quality of it is, like, extra pixely and all that for, like, the first, I think, like, hour or maybe 2 hours of the stream, and then I realized, oh, shoot, this isn't doing properly, and then I fixed it, and then it was fine thereon. But still, it's like, the footage is ruined. The footage I'm never going to do anything with is ruined. I mean, also, because it's been so long, I could just start the game over, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah. One game that I did play is between way back the 10 months ago and now, Psychonauts. That's a game that is awesome. Game that I had always heard of is really good and a very, unique game, like all that kind of stuff. I know they made a Psychonauts 2, which I've remained spoiler-free on because I intend to play that at some point as well, eventually, when I get time to. But yeah, Psychonauts was always on my agenda, something I wanted to check out, and, was aware of that it was something that was very good, and purposely avoided any spoilers and stuff of it so that I could go into it blind or whatever. And I thought it was gonna be a very different game than it was. It surprised me with just a lot of stuff that I did, in a good way, I think. And yeah, that was a thing. Would recommend. It's, what am I doing? Line render. Well, actually, I'm gonna close this as well. Yeah, what was it? So I got the laser, get the line render, and then calculate points. Yes, okay, so in order to calculate points, I'm gonna sort of set up some stuff initially as like a test. I gotta make sure that the laser itself is actually like... So this isn't a good start. I would expect to be seeing a line right about now, but I'm not. Oh, because it's over there. Why are you there, of all places? Because you're going off of, like, world space? Can I make you local, please? Surely I can make a line renderer. I mean, technically I could manually do the calculations to convert this into local space, but surely I can make a line renderer local. Am I just blind, not seeing? Surely I'm just blind and not seeing a button. Okay, thank you. Jeez. I was gonna say, like, yeah, just because I can do such calculations doesn't mean I want to. Okay, so then make this. Well, I said before that we might do some potential. Actually, no, this should be full, but then I make the max thing less. What I'd like to potentially do with this is, as I said, have the bouncing be like it bounces up to some distance and then will like fizzle out. That would be cool to do. And actually, if it's all now one continuous line with a bunch of points, I don't gotta meticulously calculate that. I can effectively just do off of this. Well, not like that. Hold on. If I did something like that, yeah. So okay, I have options, but I'll not jump too far ahead of myself yet. Okay, and then color. Wait, why are you don't have a do you have the material and then a color off top of that? Sure, I guess. Materials, I guess I'm gonna go. So I had like the scene for all the conveyor, or the folder for all the conveyor stuff. I'm kind of separating, yeah, these material folders and the scenes and the scripts a little bit on, well, actually, I didn't do it in the scripts, but I'm sort of separating this based on like the ideas of like, all the conveyor stuff we did and now the laser stuff we did being separated, but still part of the same Unity project. Okay, so, Material. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-do, blarg. Just laser. I'm fine just calling it laser. Put you on you, and then make you classic red. Wait. Oh, fix it. Oh, I assume that fix would be like, just make it one color anyway. For now, we're just gonna, have it be just a constant color, and then not worry about it, and then we'll, do stuff with it looking cooler later. So my question for why are you not? You shouldn't be. I thought I told you to be red. Why are you not being red? I'm assuming I can apply the thing to like this, but I'd expect this to be doing something. I'm assuming I'm just missing something because I haven't done stuff with lasers and or like with line renders in a while. Does this have to be a specific, like being an unlit material or something along those lines? Or is there some weird? Okay, I'm just this Unity line render color. I don't know. Why are you not? Can't. It always comes out as well. Yeah, magenta or black because it the not having a material thing. Hold on. Like this is something. I'm assuming it's something easy. Just default. There's a default line material. Okay, fair enough. Didn't need you line. I can pretend to know why that is. And your legacy shaders, alpha blended, pre-multiply, what a particle texture. Okay, so I'm sure, yeah, you have special things that are why you need to be that way. So I'm assuming that that's probably gonna stay. I don't know how polished it's gonna get in terms of like what other stuff we'll be making, but I'll keep the folder around because I might end up making more stuff that actually matters. Okay, so red, that took too long to just make a red material. So I mean, if I want to make this more laser, I know one thing for that. Oh, you're missing. I don't necessarily, so I'll take this and then clone it because I don't want the two scenes to use the same post-processing because, yeah. Folder. Because of course I want to be able to change one without breaking the other. Hold on, a little bit of so I'm gonna rename some stuff. Swear we're gonna send this whole stream just doing all this prep work. I won't get to actually making the lasers. Already running out of time. I might go a bit past midnight, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I was doing that because I wanted this, and then you're using this now, correct? Yeah. All right, that is how I did make that more faded. But the intensity, can I make you? Usually with lasers, you like it's super. Yeah, glowy, and glowy in Unity you do by Bloom. Except, like, in this case, of course, the white around it. I could try making the... Now, I was gonna say I could make the background, like, black, and then this is the more the thing color, but that shouldn't... I don't want to do that. Because I don't want to make a laser where it's restricted to only being allowed to be in dark environments. That would be weird. So, if that's the case... The weird, so I can't take this and make it an HDR material and make it brighter. So is there a way for me to? Can I duplicate this material and change anything about it? No, I want to actually change the actual shader of it. No. I go back to just making a nice material. So this wasn't working on the laser for some reason. Back to the 0.7. So why? I don't immediately know. It's like I don't know why it wasn't working. Like what's different on these? But I'm sure this just needs the right shader or whatever, and it might do what I want. Do you need like a? Oh, you need just a sprite material of some kind. But can I get one where I can actually set? one, or I can put it in an HDR color. I guess I could make my own. Can I? How hard would it be to make a shader that would do that? Okay. Do I care? Do I care lit or unlit? I think this should be an unlit one because it being a laser, being a let's say laser, yeah. Being a laser thing, it shouldn't be affected by the lighting, probably in a way, possibly. Color. Whoa, color! Can't believe that's what I'm calling that. And then blarg. But then I just want to. The whole point of doing this so I can set it to being an HDR color. Make you that, and then go. I don't know how bright. It would put like you as a 2 to start or whatever. I can then mess with the other stuff later. I mean, I guess for the alpha, I might as well just go because if I'm gonna have this be fading out. Well, actually, I don't know if it'll fade out by alpha or fade out by width. I don't know which will look better, or doing a bit of both. I guess we'll see. But split, dump you in there, and then just get the alpha and do that. Blah, and then everything else is fine. Okay, and then let's try put you. Making material out of you, which is the material over here. This, and then shader graphs, and then laser. Doesn't immediately. Why doesn't he look broken? But 2, it didn't take in the fact that I put the default color as like a red. Or no, because it was already on here. I don't know. Whatever. Sure. Wait, that makes sense. Okay. So you. I'm seeing it making the surroundings red, but not in like the glowy way that I want. I could mess with. I know tone mapping's a thing. You do this. And that's maybe more what I'm talking about. But I worry about what that tone mapping does to the rest of the thing. I know one problem with that is you then, other than super glowy stuff like this, I can't make like the surrounding here like a pure white. But so I might have to then, in order to get actually the sort of the more of the result that I want here, I might have to make this up here white, and then have the more of the actual coloring happen from. Can I make it happen from this itself? I guess we're going to have to find out. So let me start back from 0. All right, you're gonna get more of that. Okay, it took a lot for you to. Still not quite what I want. I want you to be able to easily like. Oh, that's not. Even with it being a laser, I want you to be able to kind of easily tell like where the laser starts and ends. Because doing this in theory that it could be like a hazard that you're having to jump over, and if like it's so glowy you can't tell where it ends. But back to Fan Expo talk next year. I'm gonna dress as a scout from Attack on Titan, make my own stuff. Oh, very cool, very 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 cool. Default. If I weren't to do that, I don't know what I would do otherwise, unless the idea of making being a character from one of my games is really funny. If I intentionally design a character with like the costume in mind and have it be something to some degree extravagant, yeah, it's theoretically funny. I don't know if in practice it would actually. Okay, let me just mess with. Is this perhaps having issues because of? Let me just turn off these other bits here. Still haven't gotten to the actual coding of this thing, but I do a little bit of messing around. If you're on like natural, but again, the bloom, yeah. Well, okay, if I do this, but then. And then and the threshold thing, like the background white, of course, is just being brighter than the laser itself because it's white. But again, I'm trying not to fold and have to make the ground darker. I mean, I can, and then there you go, I guess. But I'll have to undo that in a second because I don't want to mess with the grid of the other scene. Actually, I'm gonna undo that right now before I do too much and then can't. And I guess I can make ground. Well, I don't have a solution. I guess I can just go blah, and then it doesn't have to be black specifically, but I can go for a darker color. Laser. Okay. I mean, like, unfortunate that that's, like, working, but not in the way that I mean, it's still not, like, quite exactly what I want. On the laser itself, I mean, in theory, the edge of this doesn't matter because unless we have the fade out thing, it's gonna be fading out, or it's gonna be, you know, hitting a wall and stopping to some degree. I'm still just gonna go. Wait, wasn't there a? Yeah, you can do like a little bit of that for now. It's making basically just a lightsaber, but whatever. But yeah, then I could like undo that eventually. Okay, and then now can I mess with? Cool, I make it different colors. I mean, it makes sense because of how lighting works, but different colors kind of glowing to a greater or lesser degree. I was expecting to go red because it's like classic laser color, but maybe I go, because my color is cyan, maybe I go with a cyan laser against a dark background or something. I don't know. This camera is not gonna, not that I need to really, and most of this is not, the camera isn't super important with this. Why am I not seeing the, I didn't delete the camera, why am I not, what? Where's the camera? Did I? But you're growing stuff. Excuse me. Wait, and this is still in the scene. Why can't I? Is this? Excuse me. Why am I not like crazy? Why am I not seeing the camera there? For a second, I was like I thought that maybe I accidentally deleted it when I moved between the other things. Even in this, I'm not. What the heck? Excuse me? Yeah, we're... What? You might go here. Like, there's a camera here. Why the heck am I not seeing the camera over here? That's so weird. But be a, you know, special fun Unity thing where if I restarted it might fix itself of whatever is going on with the blah, blah, blah. Spent a lot of money on a leather jacket, but it was 10. It was actually a sick jacket. Sent pics. Oh, the Discord, I can check that out later. I'm super, yeah, behind against the clock at the moment. What the heck's going on? I've never seen this happen before. Am I just blind? I've never seen Unity do this, of just that I just straight up don't see an object in the scene. Again, I say, what the heck is going on? If I go and try to add a camera, it's like, yeah, okay, there's that camera. What? That's so weird. I go, I mean, it's, yeah, they're in the old scene. Because I duplicated the scene in, again, I don't see it under anything that, like, or I dragged and dropped something in the wrong place. I just kind of go paste you back in. Then, yeah, it's going to be double. So also, wait, oh yeah, that's the like old angle. Okay, that's the, yeah, weirdest thing ever. I don't have time to figure out why that's happening. I'll figure that out on my own at some point. We don't need the camera. It's fine. So weird. Anyway, I'm just gonna... I'll figure that out later. Whatever. I have no idea. But yeah, okay, back to making lasers. I was just gonna now be like, okay, you're kind of glowing. Let's make the background. It doesn't be completely black. I'm curious if it... Could make it like... this be a saturated but different color. I don't think red's going to work as background. Maybe just kind of search the color wheel for something that'll be good. I could go... Even let the background kind of glow a little bit, maybe. Okay, what if I did... Not that much, but just a little bit, and then went like that with this being dark. Ooh, I mean, I don't know if that should be glowing with this glowing necessarily. I'm not gonna keep this, but I'm just messing around. Ooh, okay. I mean, actually, the color of that's kind of mildly interesting, and then I could change you know, mess around with the laser color itself. Just testing ideas. No. I mean, that's not being like a pure black because of how this would be, you know, fading on top of it. The green is weirdly, like, I like it. Whatever, let's try this and then a different colored, like, laser itself. Maybe I'll make the ground itself a little bit darker. Laser. You are is the color. I guess, like, the other side would kind of be over here. Maybe I go back with a classic red. Red is not like red. Red is wanting to be more orange when it glows. It's a weird look as like this being the one thing that doesn't glow. I think I will need to, if the laser is meant to be a bright glowy thing, I think I need to by necessity make the background like darker, because otherwise this is just the problem I had with the background being white. Let's try to go. Maybe let's go for like a classic. Red laser, but that is like blue one maybe. If I then make the ground better, something like. Oh right, I forgot that the. Oh right. Part of the ground has metallic and fluidness values that impact stuff. And even the tiling, I could make it, you know. Whoa. I mean, it's kind of cool. Leave that part as it was. Look at this metallic one. If I were to actually bake the render probe thing, that might change what it looks like. But this would then like. I don't have to be doing this, but I currently am. Maybe we do go with the darker one. I want bright, vibrant environments. But having, I mean, the stuff looking different can be good. Let me go with this red. I don't know. This doesn't matter that much. Why am I spending so much time on it? This has been like a little bit brighter. And then this being dark, but can I make this a different color and have it? Hey, we're like right back to where we started. Hey, it's Christmas colors. I don't think so. Questions I think maybe more about would not be completely black. Whatever. Let's do stuff. This is not, yeah, interesting color scheme, but maybe that's good. We spent so many streams dealing with the color scheme of down there that maybe changing it up is good. What was I now actually doing code-wise? I need to, you know, for now it could be an update. No. For now we're still figuring out stuff, having the potential of like the laser going on infinitely or whatever. We'll do like just on start, it'll calculate its thing, and then we can observe what it's doing, and then eventually make it something that happens based on whenever it needs to update. Okay, so was it points or whatever? Get position, set position. Okay, so is this a get set thing? Yeah. Oh wait, you're deprecated. I'm curious just to see, like you said, what should I use instead of that? Dot position count. Okay, well, I mean, sure, fine. So I'm assuming this works like a normal. If I go set position of a point that doesn't exist, you're not going to like that, I would assume, because I'm assuming it's just like a normal kind of a way of internally accessing a list of some kind. So point count. I'm not going to initially know the point count. It's going to be a matter of, well, I know it's at least 2. For now, we're not dealing with the reflection stuff. I'm just going to say that it's 2, and then we'll go from there. And then we know the first one, which, well, I guess we don't technically need to code this because it'll be part of it. I'm just going to do it just for the cleanliness of having the code, making sure everything's all good. Get, I guess, set point, set position, positions. Oh, I can all at once pass in a thing of position. So I could, if I wanted to, I could internally in this code, like have it have its own list that is keeping track of the positions and then pass it in all at once. I'm just curious, what are the 2 overloads? Okay, fair enough. Native slice, I've never used whatever that is. Interesting. For now, I'm just gonna do it more directly. But so the set positions, set position, pass in an index, yeah. 0. The first point is gonna be at vector3.0 because just being at the origin of the spawner. And then to decide where the first point is, it is not gonna be. If anything, it will be. I mean, we have to sort of keep track of like the forward direction of the current segment of the laser, and then go forward from that. Do I need to track like? Should I need to track, like, internally keep a list of each point, not just each point, but each point's forward direction? If I don't really need to then re-access that information, then I guess I don't need to store it all together. I can just, like, when we're building the laser, looking at the current point we're on, what is its forward direction, calculate the next point, and by then we've calculated its forward direction, and then go from there. Yeah, so I don't think we need to store all of them. Oh, hello, X-Man's Lift. Is your game optimized? Sorry. So this thing we're working on, it's kind of not necessarily a game. Well, I mean, this is something leading up to a game stuff. I have a lot of games and stuff that aren't optimized. But actually, in terms of in the start of what this thing was, which I can rail more about it was in a second, this thing is, the most super duper optimized, but it's like not the worst thing ever. This thing over here, which you might recognize, this is what's going down below the stream right now. Just interesting background animation stuff right now. Which right now, this is, in terms of down there, it's just a looping animation. The far off idea is to make it like effectively a little game that's running down there constantly that has some degree of randomness going on, like an AI is navigating a procedurally generated maze and like stuff like that, or 2 AIs that are battling to some degree. Making stuff like that is kind of things I want to attempt to do. They're just cool visual stuff, showing off cool programming stuff, while also making it look somewhat visually interesting. So I mean, this I'd say the code is decent. There's some reusing of code and whatnot. These conveyor belts themselves are like fully physicsed. They are basically just actually the conveyors themselves, other than they have a thing to randomly set the materials. This is not optimized. I'll say this. There's definitely better ways of doing what I did here, but that was the fast way. But these are just a bunch of blocks with rigid bodies and hinge joints, and then these are gears that spin, and they have mesh collider. Well, not even like they have convex mesh colliders. That's slightly better. And then they just physics away because I wanted like the cool physicsy movement of the things kind of moving up down a little bit and it being a bit more chaotic and random. I know in games when you have conveyor belts they can be faked a lot of the time. I purposely wanted to not do that here for the sake of making a physicsy conveyor belt. And then in this redirecting laser thing, we basically just started this, so it hasn't gotten the chance to be unoptimized. But I do think about optimization and stuff a little bit as we go through these things. But there's a degree of time versus... although, I mean, if you don't optimize something early, it can waste a lot of time later. So I'm aware of that. But, yeah.
since I started making my own simple software, I realized how important optimization is even for simple stuff. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I also realized my laptop hardware is faster than I thought if you feed it proper code. Fair enough. That makes sense. If code is good, then things work better. Who knew? Yeah. But I mean, there'll be times where I overthink, like, the tiniest thing that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of coding stuff. Like, if you, float, temp equals 5, whatever. If you want to multiply a number by 2, or no, if you want to divide a number by 2, you can be like, temp divide equals 2 or whatever, right? But you can also go temp times equals 0.5, and that's technically slightly faster on performance because it's just faster to do multiplication than division. And then you could go even further and just do a bit shift if you really wanted, which is like that's not right, is it? Because you're a float, but same deal. But so it's close enough. But anyways, actually, Dodo, can you the combining it as one? Oh. Okay, I don't understand what that. Whatever, not important. But yeah, so like random little things of like that. It's slightly faster, but in the grand scheme of like. Unless you're like doing really complicated calculations where you do need to worry about every little bit of performance. Yeah, it's not the biggest deal with some stuff like that, but it's still cool to just be aware of such things. Also in Unity, a normal for loop is ever so slightly faster than a for each loop. So like that's a thing that sometimes I'll just use normal for loops because it's ever so slightly faster. But yeah. Okay, so what were we actually doing here? I am running out of time. I gotta go faster. Okay, laser. I was saying that. So I was rambling about like how we want to keep track of like the sort of forward direction of the current segment of the laser. I mean, so for right now, because we're looking at the case of just one point and like what that's gonna look like. It's gonna be the forward direction of the whole game object, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. To figure out where does this position need to be, we just need to raycast until we hit something, but then have some, it can't go off and do infinity kind of deal. Like I always thought my laptop was trash because mostly of the school programs we run. Words. Okay, I'm not reading properly. Like I always thought my laptop was trash because most of the school programs we use run super slowly. I'm very familiar with that as well. Yeah. I tried Minecraft. It was barely running. Then I installed some optimization mods. It was able to run Minecraft with decent render distance and 60 FPS constantly. Yeah. Optimization matters. Yeah. Make a big difference. It's like I never expected my $350 4-year-old laptop to be able to do. Yeah, fair enough. For me, so this is, I guess years ago, me in grade 10, first learning programming in a class. I'd done some programming stuff on my own. Most of my programming knowledge comes from just stuff I did on my own, especially the Unity stuff. But first time doing programming stuff in a class, we were learning Turing, which is really old and really bad. It's more meant as like a teaching kind of programming language, sort of. But yeah, that ran super slowly. And as a final project in that class, I recreated Space Invaders in Turing, and it ran super slow. Although, fun fact, with the real, actual arcade cabinet Space Invaders, when you first start, like at beginning, when there's all the enemies, it goes super slow, but then as you kill enemies, it goes faster and faster and faster. Well, that is just good game mechanic thing, whatever, increasing the difficulty. It's also a little bit of a bug turned feature kind of thing, because the actual the arcade cabinet way back then being super slow, processing all of those enemies and whatnot made the game run slower, but then as you kill enemies, it's processing less enemies, so it just naturally speeds up a bit because of that. And that was something they purposely left in, being a thing, because it also, part of the difficulty of it or whatever. But yeah, that's the very thing that normal Space Invader does, and then my recreation of it also did the exact same thing, even worse though. because Turing is very, very slow. Or at least not, sorry, I guess not just Turing, probably like on modern computers could be fine. Turing is slow, and old computer that I was running it on in school was also super slow, so yeah. With 8 gigabytes of RAM. Woo! Yeah, my first software hour was so slow because I didn't know anything and just did whatever. This is my second attempt. Yeah, that'll also do it, just having more knowledge or whatever. I mean, if you want to make things the most optimized they could be, you can program stuff in assembly code and do it like that meticulously. I did have to learn a bit of assembly code stuff in school. That was a thing. And had to convert assembly code to like very, very basic C code and vice versa. Yeah, complicated. Very, very complicated, very fast. Okay, so, what was this? I wanted to define a max distance. I'll let that be a public thing. Public float. This is need a float. Could probably get away with an int here, but whatever. Laser. I'm also really bad with naming things. Distance, total length. I'm going to call it total length for a reason, because this is going to, just to be clear that this is talking about not one segment of laser, but when it's bouncing off of all of the things, this is the total length of the combined after all of the bouncing, which maybe a bit still redundant to have the word total in there, but whatever, it's fine. Having descriptive names and stuff can be, yeah, good. Okay, so what am I doing? Raycast. Physics.raycast. Which even this, like, I'm gonna be doing an expensive raycast to figure out where this needs to go. In theory, there might be a better way, but I'm still gonna do this anyway, because it could be easy enough to fulfill the purposes of what it needs to be. Because, I mean, there's some times where optimizing can be not super necessary. Like, in this case, I'm making lasers in this small little test scene where the only thing happening is these lasers. So, like, it's not going to be a part of this big, massive thing where every bit of performance matters. Although, in me making this now, could eventually be part of something I'm making later, which is kind of partially the idea, potentially eventually having a game that I'm working on called The Handyman with a Unicycle, potentially that could have laser hazards such as this. And then, in that case, it'll matter a lot more, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I feel like even though assembly would technically be faster, I'd make progress so slowly and probably give up in the process. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it would probably not be worth it to make anything big in assembly, for sure. Especially as the scope keeps growing. Yeah, not to mention all the potential bugs. Yikes. Yeah. See, like, making something optimized in assembly would assume that you are an assembly expert and that you can conceive of the most optimized thing, when in reality that might not be the case. Yeah. What am I doing here? Raycast from, I can say transformed opposition, but sort of future looking at this is going to be from whatever the current point is, which will eventually be in a for loop. But like, right now I'm just kind of hard coding. I basically want to hard code point A, point B as just one continuous laser, and then I might hard code just to point C, like one reflection, and then take that and abstract it into a for loop to figure out kind of what actually needs to be in there. And then, bounce away to other things. I also know all the specifics of what makes my hardware fast, otherwise it'd be pointless. Yeah, properly utilizing the hardware and your CPUs and GPUs and different processes running and all that. Yeah, definitely. Super incredibly complicated. Especially if you were to attempt that to a degree where you also get into anything to do with, like, with proper networking to any degree. Yeah, then it gets super extremely complicated very, very quickly. Okay, so laser renderer dot get position. I'm just gonna hard it for now, and it's fine. I guess the position right now is gonna be transformed out forward, but we'll figure it out, like calculating the forward direction of the, what we reflect off of. Max distance is, for now, going to be total laser total length, but then with each one we do, it'll, like, cut down further and further, like, whatever our current, like, length is. And if we can't reach all the way, then we'll, do the fizzling out or whatever. But considering my UI takes about 1 millisecond to load the moment. I feel like the benefit doing assembly wouldn't be worth it. Yeah. 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 That's yeah. Okay. Oh, right. No, like if blah and then blah. Except I actually want the what's the order of things that gets me out. Oh, layer mask. Do I care about layer mask? I guess I don't want to hit anything like any triggers or like in theory. Wow. So I mean, in theory, I wouldn't want to. In a proper application of this, I wouldn't want it to hit like the player or whatever. But like, there's probably the occasional. Would I want any like? Here's a specific thing that if the laser hits this, it'll stop completely. I mean, I'm thinking way too far ahead. If I'm considering stuff like that, I'm thinking too far ahead. Let's not worry about any of that right now. What I want is just, yeah, origin, direction, hit info, total length. So, hold on. I am gonna need that hit info. Ray, cast, hit, yep, and then, I could definitely also, in general, I would be coding faster if I wasn't rambling everything that I'm doing. But, yeah, this is how I'll do. I think it's more interesting to be, rather just being silent in coding, actually. Rambling aloud and trying to make this more enjoyable and whatnot. Out hit information. So, we hit something, then, well, so if we don't hit something, I still want to go out that far, but we won't worry about that right now. We're just the case where we hit. So if we hit something, then, I mean, for now, this simple thing is just, we're setting the line renderer's position to hit dot point and calling it a day. So in theory, that should be enough to just get us to from here to here. Still don't know what happened with the camera thing. Like, that's super weird, but whatever. Not super important. Okay, so that didn't work. So why? I was kind of hoping it would. Are you just hitting the inside of that? But even then, that should have moved. I'm sure I've just missed something simple. The code's on the object, yeah. I guess I'll. Wait, why are you there? You're not even supposed to. You're supposed to be at the tip of the spawner thing anyway. Not that that should be affecting things too much. This was supposed to be the easy part. Why is it not working? You have a collider, right? Yeah, you do. I'll double check. I'm assuming it's. I've just miscalculated something. Transfer not forward. Just print. Hit, and then I will print out here to make sure out here ran and whatever. I'm assuming, yeah, I have to just assume that the forward direction's going the right way, right? The forward is the blue one, yes. So it should be going that way. I'm missing messages. My laptop in general seems 3 times slower than my desktop. My laptop in general seems about 3 times slower than my desktop on the CPU side, 2 times slower on the disk. GPU, not sure, but my desktop was a lot more expensive, so the laptop is technically better for its price. Haha. Only, annoying part about my laptop is that it heats up a bit fast when using full power, and that can be felt. It also makes some noise. Yeah. I mean, so like when you have a desktop, like the cost of making parts smaller so they fit in a laptop, one, they'll just make stuff more expensive, and then yeah, having the parts not need to be so small, they make them, you know, bigger, bulkier, and faster. A little bit. You have more room to make things faster. Yeah, so you just, okay, so this thing didn't hit. Why? I guess I can do a quick, the debug, draw line. Actually, well, draw ray, so it's kind of similar to the other one. So, you're not local, right? Of course. That I think that's the only transform dot position plus... Yeah, okay, fine. Very well. What was I saying? But, yeah, I have a laptop over there, and that also, yeah, can get quite hot. And then, yeah, okay, fair. You're not all... there's no easy way to just make everything all... Because it's a set position, I can't be transformed. Local position equals whatever. I have to just keep... Fine. That's gonna be a little bit annoying to keep having to add that in, but I guess it's not the biggest deal. It's fine. Oh wait, okay, that didn't work fully. I mean, it's moving around and it's hitting stuff, so I'm gonna get rid of this because now it is hitting, at the very least. I just blindly put this in. Was this even what I wanted? I'm saying transform... Oh, hit dot point. Oh, no, hit dot point probably is... No, that should be global, right? No, yeah, sorry. That part should be global. But then the thing is, in world coordinates, it needs to... Oh, no. It needs to subtract. Ugh, okay, fine. That's... Okay, that is a little ugly. I guess I don't need this to be in world coordinates. I just thought that would be... easier to have everything be sort of... Oh, that still didn't work. Okay. I always get off, like, this offset stuff wrong. Is that the other way around? I'm just gonna blindly do it without, like, checking and then see if it works. My software is... And now it's going up. Fantastic. My software is optimized a lot when it comes to that, since it's a UI, not a game. Oh, the software you're making is just like an overlay kind of a thing. Cool. Not a game. Yeah, game stuff gets extra complicated whenever you're dealing with any kind of 3D stuff. There's always extra complications that arise. Most of the time, things are. It uses little power as possible, and also being able to run on power saving. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, if you are able to have the luxury of having stuff that that doesn't always need to update, that is good. Yeah. Okay. So. Wait. So. You're up there with that. Okay. Does it need? I guess I can. So the problem with not having it be. The problem with having it be local or having it be global is I won't be able to see it in the preview. I guess as long as it's there, I guess it's fine. So yeah, I'll just quickly, because all the math, I guess, is gonna go off of it being global, so I don't have to keep figuring out how to subtract stuff. Oh, I guess also I'm gonna have you not cast shadows just for right now, because performance, I guess, not that matters that much. Use world space, and then just have all of these be 0. So I don't even need to see the laser right here. If I really do, then I will figure that out. Yes, I'm making some software using my own UI framework that I'm building. Yeah, that's very, very cool. I haven't done that much of stuff like that. A little bit in some like school projects, but nothing super big. It was a good place to start for me because my math isn't good enough for 3D. Yeah, like mostly because of school projects is stuff I've dealt with having to manually, to some degree, program, making 3D things do stuff. That was some really early stream stuff I did, was working on some school projects where I was having to do some of that stuff. Yeah, it gets really, really complicated real fast. And that was even dealing with the most basic of like setup, where having no lighting, and then like the most basic of lighting, where the entire face is all like one color rather than having lighting that actually faded or whatever. Very complicated. Yeah, okay. Sorry, what was I did? So now that I've done that, I don't need to have anything like this. Yep. Okay, are you gonna... No! Where'd you go? Wait, yeah, they both say 0. That's not a good sign. I'm guessing that's because you didn't hit stuff again somehow. Start at... Oh, because you shouldn't be 0. So this will want to be transform dot position. Okay, so that's the only one that'll matter. and then everything else will be global because just looking at how stuff bounces, I guess. Hey, we did it! Woo! Now that oh right. Okay, I guess this. It does mean if I move this, the laser itself doesn't move. Not that I would be moving that part, I'd be moving this. And if, in theory, if this moves, then this should be redirecting. You should be recalculating. And if it is doing that, then it should be basically doing that every frame. I don't see a great way to keep calculating this other than, unless I do it once, knowing the laser is never going to change. Or, I'm making something with almost the guarantee. So, okay, that's something to consider. Oh, Pipe Dragon Lucy, hello, dang, been a while, and you're still, doing cool Unity stuff. Hello, yeah, it has been a while. I think I do, recognize your name. Hello, yeah, you remember me from, 10 months ago, probably 11 or something. Yeah, from when I streamed before. Yeah, I'm still doing stuff. Although, I haven't been streaming in quite a while. I had a large gap of not streaming at all because I just got super busy with a lot of things. Which is, so actually me starting streaming again was as of 2 weeks ago now? Something like that. Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago, something like that. Actually, wait, today's Sunday, so as of tomorrow, it'll have been 2 weeks, whatever. Anyways. So, yeah, that's a thing. And now I should be, I'm trying to get back into streaming regularly. Something I really enjoy doing. I didn't stop because I didn't like it or anything. I just got super busy with a lot of other stuff. Mostly, just doing adult things like, government documents and all that. I did, one thing was around the time of making me super busy. I had to get, my passport renewed, and, that had a whole bunch of issues that made it take way longer than it should have. And then I have a full-time job now and paying taxes. Yeah, that was also yeah, because also I have a full-time job now, and that also takes a lot of time. Although yes, yeah, it's busy. But then also it's a remote job, and because of that, taxes are stuff with the taxes are more complicated. Where rather than just getting, when you work at McDonald's, they give you stuff that you just makes it easier to do taxes with. I do a lot more manual stuff. Although I don't say I have an accountant, but I have a family member that helps me with taxes and stuff. So anyway, but family member who is an accountant anyway. I missed messages. Hold on. I'm slowly improving it, but yeah, I'm not quite there yet. My software we use for a game editor. Oh, cool. I also made some functions for edit NARC files. I think I vaguely recognize, but I don't remember anything about what that term means. But I think I've seen it before, at least once. It's pretty fast at writing these NARC files. My laptop does 500 megabytes per second. Very cool. I have no frame of reference for how fast or not fast that is, but I'll take your word. That is very fast. Very cool. No, yeah, that is super cool. Yeah. So, yeah, after I get Lucy, I can show you a quick little bit of, stuff that's happened since. So one is, okay, before I even say that, one is, I'm trying to stream consistently. However, I'm moving very soon. Won't be in this location for much longer. When that happens, I'm gonna be, which literally in the next week or so, literally tomorrow, I'm gonna be packing and that shelf is gonna be cleared off, in boxes and stuff. So I probably won't be streaming for a bit because of not having all equipment together. But then, once I'm all set up, then I think at that point I'll be in a state where I can be more streaming regularly with some kind of a schedule. So yeah, look forward to that. And for stream plans at the moment, there's I have a bit of this Trello board of of stuff. Well, there's still a lot of reorganization that needs to happen, and a lot of things in my head that aren't on this. But okay, well, before I even get to that, I want to show you something else that I think is cool. That thing that I did recently is it. Wait, hold on. So how I started streaming a week or two ago was I made a game in 9 days. Basically, gave myself this challenge. Wasn't for any kind of competition or anything like that, but shabam. No time to think. The name is whatever, but it I'm gonna pull it up because I can real quick. Over here. This was the first many streams that we did was making this game. Where basically went into it just being like make a game in a short amount of time. Have it be pretty simple, but like we got a decent amount of cool like polish and some cool gameplay stuff in there. So this isn't gonna be anything like whoa, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen or anything. But it's cool enough. And also, I very rarely make 2D stuff. I highly like primarily do 3D stuff. So this is. I mean, okay, technically a lot of this is cheating because like the block guy or the player here is actually just a cube being viewed from a top-down angle. So there's no sprites in this. All of it is just 3D objects that are squished. But yeah, so this is a game called No Time to Think where so your cube, you're moving. I'm not like moving every second. Like you're automatically moving all the time and you're basically just changing directions. Almost like Snake a little bit. You can't go off into holes, and that's like on purpose by design because of reasons. Did that ramble many times. There's walls, you can hit them and all that. There's lots of hazards and stuff later. Just these first levels, like just get used to moving, get used to how the game functions and all that. Narc is Nitro Archive in archive format for the Nintendo DS. Oh, cool. I did a school project at one point where I did basically make a DS game in the most like basic sense possible. And yeah, that was a thing. And then I even did some. So I did two things. One was like a simple like. So there's a hazard that can kill you. One that was a simple like a space shooter, like just ship on the side and like. You didn't even shoot anything. It was just like asteroids coming at you. Just like dodge the things, move up and down. It was super simple. And then I made another thing that wasn't really much of a game. It's just like here's a 3D object. Wow, look at it. That was being like reading in from an OBJ file and like getting UV data and whatnot, and yeah, basically doing stuff with that to oh, those are enemies. Enemies are going to be a thing. But look at all these mechanics. There's 18 levels of this, which happens to be the amount of holes in golf. That was not by design. I just made levels and then counted them. It's like, oh, cool. It's an even number. That's good enough for me. Springs. The springs are cool. They're one of my favorite mechanics in this. They turned out super good. You'll notice that you're on a spring and then the next turn you go. So there I was able to be on the spring and then turn and go in that direction. I'm going to catch up with messages in a second. I'm just finishing my train of thought stuff. I made a DS game, basically, yeah, so basically just having this like 3D environment and like, I think not even environment, it was really an object in a black void. My submarine from a submarine tutorial that I made a while ago. Basically, actually, this, but super low poly. I had to make a super low poly version of it because it could not handle how many vertices that thing has. It also had to be like all one. It was easier to just be all one object as combine everything together. But it had the textures of that, but extremely low poly. Oh hey, X-Men, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Glad that my stream stuff is mildly interesting to some degree. I don't know how interesting the laser stuff is at the moment. It's like something like it's mildly cool or whatever. I have like so much stuff that I want to be doing and slowly get into it. Yeah, it's all progress. And we're in progress, and then also still figuring out just being an entertaining streamer to some degree. But I like the rambling. I know I'm like being very slow at the stuff that I'm making, but I like I can take my time with stuff and ramble to my heart's content about just stuff that I'm doing, going back and forth between different things that I'm making. Yeah, showing people just this sort of collage of cool things that I made that I think are cool. Viper Random, hello Cyber, hello. Hold on, let me first. Okay, now catch up with other messages. Hold on. Archive for DS, DS stuff very cool. You might not know that, or I mean, you probably know, but some people might not know that DS stuff can. Well, no, okay. I mean, it has been done in games, so it can handle rendering 3D stuff, but it's not. So one thing that I learned in one of my classes that's like weird, it's not supposed to be able to handle rendering 3D stuff on the top screen and the bottom screen at the same time. It's supposed to be either 2D on both or 2D on one, 3D on the other, which is why you'll see in a lot of games like Ocarina of Time, it'll be like, oh, it's just the map on the bottom, and 2D, and then 3D on the top is the game. I know there are some games that do 3D on both at the same time, and that's like I won't call it wizardry. It's really like hacking the hardware to do stuff. It's not entirely like when you look at the hardware, like how it's designed to be one and the other. But yeah, that's the whole thing. But I don't know. I'll follow. Go to bed. Good night. Well, thank you for dropping by. X-Men Lifts. Yeah, glad what I'm doing mildly interesting, and best of luck to you with your stuff. What stuff you're doing sounds super cool for sure. Vibram, hello, yeah. And then I'm on Pokemon White 2, and it's 3D on top. I don't make games on it. I've yeah. So I'm going off with regular 3DS. I don't like 3DS, completely different. Yeah, so I don't know much about the rendering engine as I don't touch it. I barely know anything about what I'm talking about. I did the tiniest bit as like a part of a school project, and like, yeah, that was the whole thing. That was stream content way back that is streamed. And even though like Twitch doesn't archive stream stuff, I do have a VOD channel that I just uploaded my streams to. So technically they exist way back when. The only stream that's missing is my very first one because I didn't turn on the thing that makes the streams save and not just go away forever when you hit the stop streaming button, but then starting the second stream, then stuff is there. My first streams was like 12 hours or whatever, back when I had more free time with, not even free time, it's like, I was super busy, but I was super busy with school, and I was able to stream a lot of me doing school projects. I can't exactly stream me doing my full-time job now. Don't want to get fired, no thank you. It's been so long. Yeah. So, okay, 2 people here, Half Dragon Lucy and Viper N, 2 people from my streams eons ago. Hello. Let me give you the ramble from the top. For people who have been here for a little bit, yeah, apologies for continuously, repeating stuff that I'm saying. But, people join in and leave or whatever. I don't mind re-explaining stuff. So what I'm doing right now is showing just... about 2 weeks ago, I started streaming again. This was the thing that we're making. This is not what we're doing in today's stream. This is what I started making when I started streaming a little bit ago. It's like, I want to just, not for any, like, actual competition or anything, just as a personal challenge, just because it's like, getting back to streaming, let's make a game in 9 days and see how that goes. And that's what this game was. It's called No Time to Think. And basically, you're just a grid moving, your cube moving in this grid, and, like, you move whether or not you're, like, pressing stuff. You're basically just like turning and stuff, but then we got all these different hazards and enemies, and like that was a spring that like I'm on top of the wall now. Whoa, crazy. It has 18 levels, which slowly get harder. There's like big enemies later on, like that's cool. It could use a lot more polish. One thing I want to do is return to this at some point and give it a ton more polish if I can. But it's a lot lower on my priorities list. My priority list right now, I have more stuff I want to do that's more gonna be cooler. In terms of stream stuff of what's happening in the near future. So one, as I said, I'm moving very soon. So I'm going to be able to take a small break from streaming just to like move and get computer back to being functional on a desk, But then at that point, then I think I'll be hopefully streaming somewhat consistently. Hopefully, as consistently as I'm able to find the time. But I do have a full-time job, so that does, keep me busy. But, yeah. Okay, hold on. Gotta get through my own hazards. Yeah, woo, the spring. Launch your stuff. And there's arrows and there's things. And whoa, this is the chase level. There's just a bunch of enemies and you gotta just run. And there's that guy up there. It's like, whoa, psych. And I can sit here and I just watch all of them try to follow me to their deaths. The game is cool. It's more mobile-looking type of game with the simple controls. This could be a mobile thing, like mobile thing. I didn't have the time for that as part of my made-up challenge of just making a game in 9 days. Well, there were so many things we wanted to be in this game that I didn't have time for. Like those colored tiles are supposed to be like fire particle effect and like an actual spring with an animation. Didn't get time for any of that. There's no sound in this. There was supposed to be music and sound effects. So much stuff we just didn't get time for. Because even during the challenge, I got like more busy with other stuff outside of streaming than I thought I would. So whoops. But I do want to. It's on my list to eventually return to this and polish it up, do all the stuff with it just for fun. And depending on how cool the polished version looks, it's not going to be, I don't want to go too far with this, and like, I have other games that I want to be making. I have this game that I was working on called The Handyman with a Unicycle. That's the game I really want to be getting back to after I finish these other just stream things I want to do. But my overall thing is working towards getting back to working on The Handyman with a Unicycle, and that's the game that's going to be my next big game. It's going to be cool and awesome and whatever. This was just a small fun side thing, so I don't want to go too overboard with this. Like, as much as I could make hundreds and hundreds of levels of this, and worlds and boss fights and blah, 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 I don't want to because I have other stuff I want to do more. But I want to at least potentially finish this off. Also, here's the big enemy. Wow, look at it. I want to at least finish off this, like, make it more polished, as almost like practice really polishing a game to then apply that stuff to some of those, other things I want to do. But hold on. Missing messages. Okay, cool. More with the simple controls. Oh yeah, the thing was I purposely had simple controls. That's how it's super simple on purpose for the sake of just being able to finish it in the time limit. But even as simple as this is, and the code behind it is a mess. There's a lot of stuff that would need to be like cleaned up and like optimized. The code that handles like what stuff interacts with other things is very, very complicated. Then did someone get you to play Scrutinized, or did you just play it? Someone got me to play it. So you may notice if you look at the things that you can redeem channel points for, the very top thing that's like 100,000 channel points is I will play a horror game or whatever. Yeah, someone redeemed that. That was Francesco, who I think was here earlier. He might be here still now, but yeah, Francesco redeemed that, and then I played Scrutinized, and that was a stream. I don't think I beat it. Did I beat it? So the problem with that game and that style of games is that like you can be playing for hours and then die and then lose all your progress or whatever. And I played on the easiest difficulty where like alarm going off. 1 sec. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It is midnight. Okay, so let me finish what I was rambling. So yeah, I played through after that. Will I come back to it at some point? Maybe. My only thing with that, like, I don't want to play a game like that like, on my own. My only problem with that as stream content is the fact that I could be playing for hours and then die and like lose all my progress. I think the next time that I do like a horror game on stream, I'd like to maybe do something that's a little bit more. If I die, I'm not losing hours of progress. Like I'm a patient person. I'm fine with like that, but more just to be interesting for the stream itself. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll cross that road when we get there. You know, these are going to be like boulders falling from the ceiling. That's the thing that I'd like to ideally look a lot more polished than it, you know, currently is. Everything with this you can pick apart and be like, oh, that could look better. That could look better. It's like, in theory, yeah, eventually that is the case. Chat, is this real? Skilly, hello. Yes, I am real. Am I? Is it a simulation? Oh, by the way, there's only like 2 more levels of this. I'm just gonna finish this playthrough of this since like I'm just rambling anyway. And in fact, I've done this so many times, I'm basically doing it with like barely looking at it, although I keep dying because I'm not paying full attention. I don't think I have enough distance on this guy. I think he's gonna catch me right before. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh no. Yeah, Adam, the creator, made it so hard and then nerfed it. I think I heard. Did I play it before or after it being nerfed? I don't know. I want to say I had played it after it having been out for at least some amount of time. And I know the person who made that also made Welcome to the Game and Welcome to the Game 2. I know that's a whole thing and style of game and all that. Personally, I wouldn't recommend playing it. The devs who playing again. Darn. Did I just... No, I think I just went outside the map there. No, not a bug in my own game. Darn. Yeah, you can, in theory, because of reasons, yeah, there's some places, mainly because of the springs, you'll be able to spring over the edges of the map and then go off infinitely. Because rather than manually defining all the center squares, I found it easier to just define where the edges of the map were. That was like a little bit less tedious and made the code for how things interact with each other easier. But yeah, and yeah, we'll see. But correct me if I'm wrong, Francesco, like I'm not mistaken. You are the one that redeemed that, right? I'm not. Right now, I'm like doubting my own self. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Anyway, so. Oh, so this guy, see, this is interesting. You have to actually lead him into a 2x2 hole, which I failed to do. Yep, yeah, okay. I was pretty sure, but yeah. So, yeah, that's, and so, also, I don't like horror games in that, like, I get scared easily, especially, you know, at, you know, horror games and that kind of thing. So I don't, like, want to play a horror game as far as being a baby, but, I will for the content. I don't want to be doing, like, that's not going to be happening too often, because also I have other things that I want to do. If I'm playing horror games every week, then I'm not working on my game things that I want to be doing. But yeah, it'll happen eventually. It's, yeah. Let's ramble about this. Red pears. You mean, wait, so I'm assuming, I guess I haven't thought about it, but like, you know, pears are usually green. Apples come in many colors, greens and reds and yellows and all that. Okay, it is. Actually, but I guess I take your word that pears can come in red. I don't know if that's like some degree of ripeness or just a particular kind of pear. Also, this level, look at the bajillion enemies. I've never had one. Unless by red pear, you literally are just like silly slanging of just apples, which like apples are fine. I don't like pears. I haven't tried many pears, but last time I think I tried a pear, I did not like it. Apples, I mean, I don't like Red Delicious, which is like the most the backwards name of an apple there is. Like Macintosh is maybe my favorite apple, and I kind of go back and forth between the whatever. But he did a lot of things. Yeah, I fell off. It's fine. He did a lot of things after I requested that, and that something directed towards me, which sounds completely how I saw him. He's like, ooh, yeah, that's not fun, not fun. I mean, yeah, developers behind games, yeah. I mean, like, you know, creators of TV shows or movies or whatever, yeah, stuff happens, which isn't super great. Yeah, pears are mid. I agree. Well, I don't know, yeah. I do have to, so, okay, because it's midnight, I have to go feed my cat real quick, so that's, I'm gonna quickly, I feel like, I'm like, no, I shouldn't wait on that. So I have to quickly just go to the not here screen and go do that. I have a cat, yes I do. I'm not gonna show cat on stream right now. Maybe someday, maybe I'll make that a channel point redeem. No, yeah, we're good. Fair enough. I mean, I didn't super love Scrutinized to begin with. It's just not necessarily my style of game. I like that the one character on the like the cover art like had a lab codes. It's like, haha, it's me. Wait, I'm not a psychopath. But more like I guess like a style of game that's interesting or whatever. I don't think that it's like necessarily a poorly made game. It's just not like, I don't know, especially for stream content. The whole like the idea of like, oh, if you mess up and lose hours and hours and hours of progress, that's just I don't think makes for the best stream content of being interesting and not repetitive. I don't know. Anyway, also, I think I went into it thinking there'd be a lot more than just like the two people, and then it was just the two people. But yeah, and also that game is a lot of like long periods of time of basically nothing happening excepting the occasional sound, and then something actually moves, and then you're falling out of your chair. But cat, yes, okay. So I said, okay, well, this doesn't have a pause function, but you can just keep going up and dying. It's fine. All right, I'll be back in like, let's say 30 seconds. So it's probably slightly longer than 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Yaha. And I'm back. And cat, bananas. Cats are not bananas. What are you talking about? No. But no, yeah, I'm back. At some point I could show a cat on stream. Not right now though, because yeah. But yeah. I have had a lot of vet visits recently. But my cat's quite old and has had some health problems, but she's, you know, pretty good right now. So yeah, there's that. My cat's name is Kitty because that's what happens when you let like a 10-year-old name a cat. No, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, something along those lines. Got cat. My sister named it. We were super young. But yeah. And so, but hello chat, by the way. Yeah, Bananas 2.0. Hello, yeah, hello, everyone. I think the Twitch stats, the Twitch chat, the Twitch stats lies a bit. It says I have 5 years, but I know that if I go to things like users in chat, it's like usually more. There's some metrics of which it doesn't count some people or whatever. Or if you're listening audio only, in which hello and welcome, hearing my voice or whatever. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. I don't focus on the numbers too much, other than it's cool to not be just talking to myself. Yeah, which is you. It's funny, at the very, very beginning of my streams, I'm usually just like, I'm aware that, like, yeah, no one's watching probably, but I'm gonna just ramble away about 50 things that, like, I usually have to give the recap of, like, what we were doing last time and what we're doing this time and, like, whatever. But, which, remember that this stream was meant to be about lasers? That kind of didn't happen. But some people came in that haven't seen the stuff that I've been doing, and, like, this is a game we were making for a while, and I'm just... We're close to... So, okay, this level's unforgiving a bit, where, like, you have to go through a lot of just making a lot of perfect turns, which, like, I could do I was fully paying attention. I keep, like... Because I'm rambling and looking over at chat, I'm not paying full attention. So let me just, for the sake of all our sanities, let me just actually pay attention long enough to just complete my own level, and then we can move on from it. And home free. Okay. I will double everything. Oh, the bananas 2.0 and the why am I forgetting the name of an emoji thing? Would you call that an emoji? What do you call it? Why am I forgetting the name of, like... Why am I forgetting the name of, like, what you call, like, you know, Twitch? Why am I blanking on the name of what you call, like... what's the name? Emotes. Jesus, I'm not old, I swear. I'm only 23. It's just completely Twitch emotes. I mean, it's similar to an emoji. It's the same basic concept. It's fine. Be older of me to call it an emoticon, which is like the original name of like the OG emojis. This is the final level of this game, by the way, which basically just this like, let me just throw everything at you and like good luck. You basically just have to get to any edge of the map and then you're free and you work your way around to the goal. Woo! We're done. Woo! Thanks for playing. Yeah. Whip that up in like as short a time as could. Currently thinking about drawing and writing about skinwalkers because I am a cryptid lover and would absolutely love to heard this stuff. Anyway, skinwalk. So like I'm aware of like cryptids as like a concept of creepy things or whatever. I mean, other than what I can assume from the name, is that like a shapeshifter type person, or is like I steal your skin because yeah. I'm assuming something along those lines. But yeah, cool. I can't draw very good. That's why I don't make 2D games, because I can't do like pixel art or like good things in Photoshop, so I cheat by just using 3D stuff, because I can kind of do 3D stuff and then I just flatten it. Personally, that works better for me. Which is, it seemed backwards from how it should be, because usually across game dev stuff, 2D stuff is supposed to be easier and 3D stuff is hard. No, 3D stuff is also stupid hard. I'm not saying that either is easy. It depends on the context of the game and like the scale of it. But let's go back to this, where we were eons ago. Anyways, your stroke had a brain. I'm currently, wait, no. Hold on. Sims say that it's pretty much the concept of Skinwalker. Got close enough. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that game. Spoiled the whole thing. But yeah, this is the thing we made at the start of me getting back into streaming. And yeah, it has some cool things here and there. It's not like the most spectacular thing, but yeah, there's some cool things. And then now so we made down there. I changed my stream setup so that there's like, because one thing is I wanted that to be all on screen and not have my webcam like covering a large chunk of the screen. And but at first that was a minor thing, but now that I've done it, the fact that I don't have to care about stuff in the top right, I'm loving it a million times more than I initially thought I would. Every time I'm like, oh, let me adjust on the inspector. I'm like, yes, I don't have to move my face anymore. Yeah, I don't have to worry if I'm covering something. Woohoo! I don't know. It's funny how much like more joy I'm getting out of every time I realize that than like I thought I would. But also, it gives me an excuse to down there that can be just cool. Like, here's a thing I programmed. Look at them cool physicsy conveyor belts. I've given this ramble many times, even just this stream, but the longer term idea is, one, we have multiple cool animations down there just showcasing cool physicsy stuff, and we swap them out from time to time so it doesn't get too repetitive. Thing one. Thing two, right now it's just a looping video, like just, you know, recorded from Unity, and it's just a video that's looping. Thing two is, once I move, I want to take my old computer that I have and have it be running whatever the Unity scene of the thing is, like having the Unity scene of like in this case this conveyor belt thing, have it be running 24/7, and somehow gotta figure these specifics. Might do some cloud type thing of getting it from old computer to this computer so that it's like live taking in the feed of the Unity scene that's running. And then it could be basically, rather than being a looping video, it could be more of a game type thing that's just running constantly. And then I can do more cool and creative stuff like that. Like one, I don't gotta worry about it looping. But then making like little, I don't know if games is the right word, but kind of like games that, you know, I'm not controlling. There's more stuff where it's like, oh, you know, like two AIs, like AIs in like video game enemy kind of way, not like actual like self-learning thing. You know, an AI NPC in a game, like two things that are like, you know, battling to some degree, like little game things going on there that could be cool, visually interesting things, or maybe like, yeah, kind of AI thing, like solving going through a procedurally generated maze, or like a character that's just like a 3D platformer character that's just like running around at different waypoints, like a little animated me, like different stuff like that I think will be cool. That's what I want to, yeah, continue to do stuff with. That's how that's planning to evolve. And then also just putting in like stuff that's like assets just from other things that I'm making, like as I'm making the handyman with the unicycle, I can put in stuff from that, you know, make cool things, whatever. With the submarine that I made, one idea is to make like an underwater thing, and the submarine's like just floating around, and make like fish and underwater-y things, stuff like that. And then extra thing on top of that would be to have chat integration to some degree. Like if you guys type stuff, it changes things that are happening down there. That would also be very cool. Or even like, you know, when I get a follow, if it like when the cube, like a cube drops down with somebody's name on it or something. Like if we get to that like level of just taking it as cool as we can. But it's stuff that I have in mind, but it's, you know, it's gonna be a while till we get there. The last stream we did was making those conveyor belts, so it's still like in relatively early stages. But that's just kind of stuff I have in mind that I think should be cool. Just to be cool. And I'm still gonna maybe play around with like maybe just growing that more and shrinking me a bit. Maybe we'll see. Like yeah, I don't want it to take up too much real estate of the screen, but yeah. But another thing why it's good for me personally is that like literally right this second, I'm rambling and not actually doing anything, so there's nothing happening on screen. So these times when I'm just rambling away, having at least some level of visual interest down there is a good thing to have. First covered about the chat catching up. So true. That's yeah, I know. Yeah, Skilly. Then provide things to like. Am I remember? Yeah. And tell me, should I worry more about making the skin more scary or? Oh no, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I would like. I don't know. At one point, I tried to make an actual horror game kind of thing. I already have so many like unfinished, you know, things in mind. Although I could like make a level of the Hand with Unicycle that has like a overall creepy vibe. That would be kind of cool. You guys play A Hat in Time? That's a game that like, oh, it's just a normal like normal-ish, you know, like 3D platform or whatever that has one level where it kind of turns into a horror game. And it's like, yeah, don't worry about it. This is fine. We did that kind of thing. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I do want the Hand with the Unicycle. I want to be a game that has some degree of I was gonna say varied gameplay. That's not it, but like variety of stuff that you do while still being the same kind of gameplay that I have in mind and like whatever. But anyways, so that's a thing that we're gonna be getting back to eventually. Is this game that I'm making called The Handyman with Unicycle, which is almost like a 3D platformer but without jumping, in that it has a lot of elements that you commonly see in 3D platformers, but you purposely don't jump. You're on a unicycle and you gotta like, ideally it's gonna be like momentum of having, you know, you go fast down a ramp and you launch off and you get height to like cross gaps or like use springs and, you know, other things in the environment. But you're still like wheeling around hazards and like that kind of thing. But you're like a repairman for a carnival, like a carnival that moves around every day. They're in a new place just for the different levels. But they're always in like very dangerous places, like yeah, in a volcano, like that's fine. Middle of frozen tundra, there's an avalanche, don't worry about it. Like just, you know, going crazy with the level environments, even though it's a carnival of some kind. But yeah, then you're going back and forth repairing rides, and then like having different objectives that you have to do to like complete the level. That'll vary to some degree. Some of it'll be like, yo, go run around in this area, keep repairing stuff as it breaks. Don't like let a thing fully break, or you get strikes. You get 3 strikes, then you're out. There'll be some that'll just be a get to the end kind of a thing, especially towards the beginning for some tutorial stuff, and you know, we'll see. And then other variations of having to like repair stuff, like being in a submarine and oh no, there's, you know, cracks and like leaks, and you know, repair them and that kind of thing. And then more evolutions of that kind of idea. I do want a heist level. That's gonna be a thing, as an example. There's gonna be a level that's gonna be a heist. Don't worry about that. But yeah, it's an important question. Does the handyman deliver pizza? Hadn't thought about that. Of all the weird level ideas that I have planned, I don't think any of them have had yet to do with pizza. But you know what? Maybe that's how the heist starts. It's like, yeah, I'm delivering a pizza to like the headquarters of like the CIA. Don't worry about it. No, that is not the plan, but you know, I can pretend that it is. No. Alright, boys and gals, I'm out for tonight to see you, Cyber Skilly. Thank you for dropping by, Viper Random. Okay, I didn't, like, the last, like, hour has just been me rambling and not actually doing the stream stuff, but it's gonna be, hopefully, a lot of cool things to look forward to. Yeah, but actually maybe get back to actually doing stuff. So what we were doing was making lasers. This is, as I said, it's not for anything specific other than the idea that if this laser stuff turns out, so the first thing is, it's something that I've never done in Unity, so I want to do it just because. That's what's going to be some streams. It's like, here's a thing I've never done, let's see if we can figure it out and, you know, see how it goes. And then some of those things, if they turn out well, I could then recontextualize into an animation thing down there, like being something with lasers or whatever. And then also some of this stuff I've specifically chosen because it will be part of a future game, like the Handyman with the Unicycle, like these could be hazards or whatever, blah, blah, blah. One thing I want to do is, like, I've never done character ledge grabs before, so I want to have a thing, I want to figure that out of, like, you know, getting a character to actually grab a ledge and, like, perfectly actually hands on the ledge properly and how that does, and then, you know, hoist themselves out, like that kind of thing. To do that, before I do that, though, I want to make, like, a base character to do that with, and then other things that we would do with that. I have a whole list. I have a whole list and potential plans. I even have, partially I have this. It's like plans for the next couple streams, sort of. But then also I make tutorials on YouTube, or I want to be making more. I've made a couple and I want to be making more. Just Unity tutorials on different things. I want to make more of those. That's my immediate next goal. When I first started streaming at first, it was like, let's do this game in 9 days. The next thing that I'm working towards, other than right now we're doing this laser thing, is making more tutorials. That's like my next, like, hill to cross, other than the stuff that I haven't been moving and like all of that. I still got to do a lot more planning on my own with the next immediate tutorial, like writing a script and all that, before I'm gonna then potentially be working on it, doing stuff with it on stream. So that's gonna be a thing. That's this animation override tutorial thing. But then I have more planned after that. I have a list of the next 10 tutorials, roughly, and then I've even ranked them as being whether they're beginner level tutorials, intermediate tutorials, or expert tutorials. I expect there to be some shuffling around or swapping out of ideas, but I at least have a rough idea of what the next couple will be. I already forget what the second one's gonna be. I can quickly just be like, whoop. You know what? Yeah, you guys get exclusive content. What is, The conveyor belts down there is gonna, like, how I made those is gonna potentially be one of them. But currently, oh right, I was gonna do one with these lasers. Yeah, these lasers are gonna be one potentially as well. Check Discord real quick, teacher, if all possible. I had a silly idea. Yeah. Okay, I'll be quick. I think someone else also sent like Discord stuff. But yeah, this is find the odd part of this screenshot. I'm looking. Is it okay if I have image on stream? See, it's my stream. It has another language. Like, I see that is, I don't know what language that is. Unless it's like, I don't know. It's not French, because I know I know that letter hua is in Spanish. That could be on top of an N, I think. But sure, yeah, okay. So bois, capois. What's the? Is it just that the screen is extra wide? Is that a thing? Is that the thing? Portuguese. I'm a fellow Brazilian. Cool. It's cool that I have, you know, people watching from all around. I'm Canadian, so that's a thing. The land of Canada with the polar bears and being neighbor with Santa Claus and maple syrup and look for numbers. Okay, so I see 4.8 million. I'm gonna guess that you didn't inspect elements change. That's gonna be my guess. There's no way. I don't think you can get. I haven't done any like predictions or whatever where you could predict stuff and then like double or more than double your channel points. But yeah, ha ha ha. But please don't redeem the how much is it? Yeah, I'll play a horror game like 40. I forgot the number. It was like 48. 48 million. 48 times was the words I was trying to say there. I was attempting, but yeah. Anywho, yeah. Did I guess right? Was the numbers? Was that the correct guess? But yeah. Oh, also, Fran, you're still here. Yeah. Oh, I see that you sent the picture of you Fan Expo. The Ben 10 shirt or sweater. Very cool. So I haven't actually properly watched Ben 10, but I'm like aware of it and aware of a lot of things from it. There's so many like shows and movies and all that I'm like, so many things I haven't seen that I'm like I will see eventually, but like I haven't gotten around to it yet on the list. But wait, no. Look for. Oh wait, was that a? The clock always jumps time when this laptop on. Sometimes it goes to 2008 to 34. It's silly. And yeah, you're correct. Ho ho. Yeah. 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 Ha ha ha. But yeah. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought with. What was I saying? Oh no. Well, I was gonna say the list of my current planned tutorials, but I was gonna say something else. I forgot what it is. Oh well. So currently the plan is the animation override tutorial, which is basically how you can make an animation and then modify it in late update to make like variations. Basically, the thing that I did in the Grid Cube game, I just want to take something from that, make it a tutorial, because then that video is gonna double as being just me rambling about having made that game in the first place. Depending on how this laser thing goes, I want to make a tutorial on the redirecting lasers. Something to do with kill planes and more talking about like on trigger enter. Some of these are okay, so some of these are more like intermediate things, but I want to have some like basic tutorials just to add that variety. So some of these are like super simple things, just because, yeah. So think about like, making like kill planes and more like on trigger enter. You know, so on trigger enters and you're doing something like destroying an object, that kind of thing. The physics-based conveyors, those guys, that's potentially more of an expert tutorial with it, how physicsy it is. You know, we'll see. One on coroutines and delays, and doing stuff with that. That's the other beginner kind of one. Underwater currents. That's going to be an interesting one. Where I think I'm going to pull some of my environmental stuff from the submarine tutorial that I did. Pull in some of those, that underwater environment. And I basically wanted to do wind, like, have this entire region be affected by wind and be pushed. But I'm recontextualizing it as underwater current because I just think that's cooler and more unique, I guess. One thing that I've never done and I want to learn how to do, and thus I'm also going to make a tutorial out of it, which is what a lot of these are. Well, not all the ones I just said, but some of these, like the conveyor and the lasers, like something I've never done. Since I've learned how to do it, I can then try to teach it for funsies. When you have, so a lot of games where you have music and stuff, it'll frequently in audio settings, you'll have like not just turning the global volume down, but you'll have 3 things for music, sound effects, and sometimes you'll have like voices or whatever. I want to figure out how to properly set that up. Or if you have all these different things in a scene that are spitting out sound effects, like how you get that to be just those to controlled under one global like volume slider, and then also have music be a separate like slider. I want to learn how to do that, and then depending on how that goes, I'm thinking that'll be a tutorial, and that can be interesting. Another beginner tutorial explaining basically the differences between update, fixed update, and late update, and going over stuff with that. That one I still need to flesh out more of what I'm going to do with that, rather than just explaining the differences. I don't like to have a tutorial to be just, here's a concept. I like to make something. Like, we're making a thing, and in order to make that thing, let me teach a concept. Car 2.0. Currently my most viewed video on YouTube is a car tutorial I did ages ago that I didn't put a super heap amount of effort into, but it was a perfect niche of like something that I knew a lot of people were searching for, but there weren't a lot of good videos on that weren't like 10-part series and all that. So I just had like a simple like, here's making a car in Unity and like let's make it super simple or whatever. But that video has some like slight problems. I look back at it, it's like, why is that the most viewed one? Why can't it be like my submarine one? But I understand why it has more views than some of the other things that I've done on more niche topics or stuff that a lot of people have done stuff with. So I want to maybe do a round two. Round two of just like, with my more knowledge and whatever, make a better car tutorial. Make a better car in terms of the end product of the actual what the code does, and then also make a better tutorial that's actually doing that. Redeem mistakes of what... And then last thing number 10 is a character ledge grab. Another thing that I've never done, that I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, that I want to figure out how to make a character do a ledge grab, and also depending on how that goes, also potentially be a tutorial. And then some things that I might swap out, or maybe might do things in the future is one about like a basic using the Unity nav mesh system, and then another making like an inventory system of some kind. But those are like, those are not in the list of 10. Actually, inventory system was in the list of 10, and then I swapped it out for, I think I swapped it out for the car 2.0, or something like that. But yeah, you should make a like special stream for playing random online games with us. Could be fun. I don't know. That's like 5.0 cyber. Like maybe. Like what? It's hard to like want to like add more stuff to my list just because like I have so many things that I want to do. On at least at the very least right now, I want to like I'm more like narrowly focusing on just getting done like the next tutorial thing I want to do, and the next couple. I'm gonna be making a bit of a format with the first one, and then the next 9, so the 10 total, will have a somewhat consistent format, I think. But then, like I have a more grand idea for what I want my tutorials to look like. That if I can pull it off, will be super cool. But while I'm not ready to do that, I'm doing these 10. That's like an in-between kind of a thing. It's hard to explain. But doing these 10 with a certain idea, and I then develop some other background code to then go forward from that with something kind of completely different. Not completely different, but an evolution that I if it can turn out well, will like, in theory, take my tutorials from here to here in just terms of like visual interest and stuff cool visually happening. Because also, the other thing with the tutorials, I don't just want to like do, I want to like some educational, teaching people stuff is cool, but I also want them to visually be good and like, not be boring in theory. But I also don't want to overdo it. There can be a point of overdoing it. Like, hey guys, welcome. We have 50 explosion effects and whatever. Like, there's a point of overdoing it, but there's a point of also being boring. There's a scale. There's a threshold. I gotta find the sweet spot or whatever. But yeah. But it's sort of like even like playing games in general. Also on my own. Like I also solo single playing games on stream. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in theory, I'm not going to be doing that in the near future either, just because I want to be just focusing on like the stream stuff and getting that or the game things that I want to be doing. I think maybe when I get to the point, so the overall thing that I'm working towards eventually is getting back on working on the game I was working on a long time ago called The Hangman with Unicycle. I keep saying that, like, I know that there's people who have heard me talk about the game. Every time I say it like it's the first time people are hearing it, when like, yeah, but anyways, yes, I want to get more, and then when I'm at that point, and then I'm more consistently working on that, then I'd be more open to like branching out a lot more. Yeah, maybe doing that kind of stuff. I don't know. Hard to say. But yeah, we'll see. But also me like moving, that's also gonna delay things even further. Definitely not doing that right now, as I don't even like have that much time to be streaming in the first place. Yeah, so we'll see. Make a multiplayer game about bombs exploding, more bombs, and whoever bombs more bombs for enemy bombs with win bomb currency, win bombs aesthetics, bombs everywhere. That did just give me the idea of an Ultra Tag. So a thing with Ultra Tag, I don't remember how much I've explained to you specifically about Ultra Tag, or how much I'm going to explain stuff from scratch. As a school project, I had to make a tag game. That's all it was initially. Although I did stream making some stuff with it. But I liked some stuff I did with planning that I want to continue to work on it and basically turn it into something completely different. That's like a tag game, but like not completely a tag game. And the entire aesthetic of the game being like secret agents and like super villains, but like cartoony super villains, the twirly mustache kind of I'm gonna take over the world, and designing a bunch of like those kind of villains, and the idea of having one of them be all bomb themed. Even if he's not all like, even if not everything is explosions, but just be his entire how he looks is just a bunch of like, you know, like a giant, not just being like a bomb from like Mario, but somehow just being very bomb themed and like the entire arena being bomb-like materials, and then maybe, yeah, being filled with explosions and just going overboard on everything in that like level being all bomb themed, even if it's not necessarily a bomb. The idea of that is kind of funny. I know 2% Ultra Tag lore. Yeah. But yeah, so the idea there was basically I wanted, yeah. So I mean, yeah. So the aesthetic I wanted to go for that. I thought that could be cool. But basically the game was going to be, I mean, it's a tag game of you're in an arena of some kind and you're chasing people and they chase you and that. Where the overall objective is to be like normal tag. Not be the one that's running away, right? So I had like a score thing where whoever's not it running away, they have like a meter that's filling up. Whoever's meter fills up first wins. But the cool thing with how I was programming with it, basically the idea of instead of just being a 1v1, being able to support like, oh, you know, it's 100 people versus 100 other people in this gigantic map, have fun with that. If I could pull off that and have it not be super clunky, like that's the extra thing that could be kind of cool. Although I keep going back and forth between like, if I can make like a pathfinding system that can support a whole bunch of people in one map, but then I also when I keep thinking about like, as I said, like, oh, it's a, you know, secret agent guy that you're playing as versus supervillain, I keep planning it in my head as like 1v1, but then I'm trying to be like, oh wait, no, I wanted to have like lots of things. How am I gonna mesh those two ideas? Also, so like when you have an arena-based thing like that, usually that's like, oh, a multiplayer thing or whatever, or like Fall Guys or something. I wanted to actually design something that's more like a story-based thing of you're going through levels of going through these arenas, and then there could be a multiplayer mode and like an online multiplayer mode in theory, where you have these like multiplayer maps. But I wanted to actually still have a story that you're going through, which doesn't have to be super complicated. It's like, here's the gameplay I want, and then coming up with story that maybe is weird and silly, but whatever story technically like fits the gameplay. So like, if you're chasing someone in a tag manner, it's like, okay, how do you chase that? How do you justify that? You're not just running up to somebody and then you capture them and that's it. So like, to justify like the going back and forth is basically whatever villain you're trying to like defeat, they have something in their possession and then they're running away because they're running away with the thing. Whenever you catch them, you grab the thing and run away. Like a reverse hot potato kind of a situation. And then they're chasing you, trying to get it back when you have the meter that fills up of, I don't know, you're decrypting whatever thing. And then once it fills up all the way, then ta-da, you win. But then also having the idea, the initial demo idea I had with that was going to be 3 sort of levels. And this was back when it was going to be mostly just like 1v1 stuff, so that also might change. But the 1v1 that's like an easy between like the sort of tutorial kind of like villain, very, yeah, twirly mustache, I'm gonna steal all the world's puppies, or something that's like silly, but like, yeah, whatever. You defeat him in like whatever tutorial arena thing. Level 2 was going to be you versus 2 people. And maybe they'd be like twins or something, but you versus 2 people. But it's not both of them fighting you, it's you're fighting them, but they're also kind of fighting each other and being this, you know, 1, 2, 3 kind of free-for-all kind of thing. I thought that could be something interesting to mess with. And then level 3 was also going to be a 1v1, but it was going to be a really hard 1v1. You're actually like fighting some kind of like robot cyborg thing. He has like whatever evil plan that's actually like, I'm going to kill everyone or whatever. Something that's not as silly or whatever, to be more intimidating or whatever, and being more hard as far as gameplay goes. That was like initial kind of like idea, but then it is like sort of almost like more like a, not even a demo, more like a prototype kind of a thing. But then the idea of taking that and making it go a lot further, where then the way how I was programming the kind of tag system, I can have a lot more than just tag. I can experiment with the different kind of game modes you can have in an arena, like a King of the Hill kind of thing, where you gotta, be standing in the spot for a certain amount of time and you're getting points to whatever, or like it being like team kind of a thing where it's like 2v2, where it's like these 2 are considered not it, these 2 are considered it. If anyone on one team touches anyone on the other team, then both of them sort of switch statuses of being the one you're chasing versus the one that's running away, that kind of thing. And then also in this arena kind of thing, it's not just an empty arena where you're chasing someone, the arena itself being filled with hazards and obstacles and all that. That was going to be the other thing that like makes the gameplay more interesting, is you're also having to, platform and dodge just hazards that nothing would kill you. Anything that hurts you would just slow you down, so that then whoever's chasing you can get you or get away or whatever. But then also you were going to go into a level with a bit of a loadout of you actually have weapons of your own. I didn't really want to have guns because, I don't know, like there's enough first-person shooters out there that like I could be more creative in terms of the weaponry. But having stuff like, oh, you throw a bit of a slime grenade thing and it makes like a pool of slime or whatever behind you, and then whoever was just chasing you, they are slowed down by running through it. Or you throw it at someone in front of you and then it slows them down. Stuff like that. You'd go into a level where you have a loadout of two things, like one more offensive thing and one more defensive thing that like, yeah, helps you like get away or chase down whoever you're chasing. And like that was ideas that I had. And maybe with it being a story-based thing, you'd like unlock more as you go along. And then the villains that you're fighting would have their own like consistent like whatever loadout thing that is. But the idea of having like, oh, it could be like, a 4v4 and like whatever, or having this, free-for-all thing where multiple people are it and multiple people are not it, and how that works or whatever. You can have a capture the flag kind of a thing. Like, having this arena-based, like, basically what I'm saying is there could be a lot more done than just tag, and that's also why Ultra Tag is not a great name for it, because I want it to be a lot more than that. I just haven't come up with a better name yet, because I haven't been working on that game or whatever. But, yeah. Potential ideas, that 90% of what, 99.999% of what I've said is entirely in my head, and none of it's, like, in Unity yet, other than just the little concept demo-y thing I made for the school project, that, even that has some issues, yeah. And then, if I'm hypothetically, I'm more, as cool as that idea is, I am more wanting to work on the Handyman with the Unicycle. I like in my head where that game's going more. But if I do have a bit of going back and forth working on the two, it would also be cool if, in theory, as I'm making both, that they actually in-game reference each other to some degree. Like, in some map somewhere in Ultra Tag, there's like a billboard that advertises the company that is the carnival in the carnival game or something like that. And I don't know what the flip of that would be, but like, yeah, something that references like one of the villains in Ultra Tag or something like that. Like, it'd be cool to have a little bit of like subtle crossover-y things. But these are all just theoretical ideas. There's a huge... That's the thing, in terms of planning stuff, like, I can plan potentially cool things, but there's such a huge difference between planning something and actually making it. Which is unfortunate, that's just the fact of how it is. But even if I'm not able to make some of these ideas as extravagant as I'd like to, even just the act of planning such things is enjoyable to me. I have fun just thinking of where this stuff could go and the kind of stuff I could make with whatever, but... yeah, we'll see how much of it actually pans out anywhere close to what I'm intending. But, that all starts... or now it starts with lasers. But, no, like, continuing to get better at doing Unity things and, like, just making cool stuff. Doing some of these things here where I'm like, oh, here's the thing I've never made in Unity, let's make that. And then some of that could then be in some of those games or whatever. And, yeah, like, stuff we'll get to eventually. Yeah, and have fun doing it. Then I can doodle that if you want to. Hot bomb. Yeah. That, I think, part of the joy of Ultra Tag will in theory be designing these weird villains and whatever. Like that's gonna be on purpose, more more goofy, more just the standard cartoon villain. Maybe a few like serious villains, but like mostly just just funny villains for the sake of. It can be more silly. And then even on the like agent side, there's the character that you're playing as that is some whatever secret agent whatever. I don't know what that's necessarily going to look like. I thought more about the villain side than like the hero side, but yeah, I don't even know if that game would have other agency like characters or if it would just be you, the one you play as, and that's it. I have no idea. Like, there's conceptual things that there's a lot of conceptual ideas that I planned in that game, but I haven't really stitched a lot together. It's all like, here's a theoretical idea that could be cool, but I don't know how it's going to work in the grand scheme of things. With Handyman with the Unicycle, I think there's a lot more there that's a lot more concretely planned and a lot more that's, like, stitched together. I have way more idea of, like, what a proper, complete version of that game may look like, and, like, more concrete like level ideas and characters and some lore things that'll happen, even though it's not fully 100% planned yet. But that be a thing. Anywho, that's what time is it? I do have to get up tomorrow for work. We did not do like anything with these lasers. Whoops. Well, I mean, we did a lot of rambling, and you know that was cool and all, but so, okay, maybe I do split this in two. Well, let me actually get back to doing some of this laser stuff, and see, this is why the below the thing video works, because it's stuff that happened while I'm rambling. But it'll be cooler once it's more like random and, you know, like an actual kind of a game kind of thing happening. But yeah, we'll get there eventually. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I could do what I just did. I want to just do something that I can do to have the if I want to, I'm basically lining up a 45-degree turn. I have an idea of how I can make it perfect. If I just put this here at the turn point, and then put this underneath, and then I just turn this, and then ta-da! That's 45, yeah. No, it's perfect, haha. I ideally could, like, work off any angle, but, hold on, laser and, I don't know, pivot or whatever. But for now, we're gonna, you know, code it being normal. Oh, and then I guess I'll put a, I guess it's not really a laser end anymore, but whatever. Laser. I mean, technically this, so, in theory, this is a laser bouncing off of any walls, so this is just a wall. It's not so much a laser redirection point or whatever, just wall. And then, it just wall. Maybe I'll even make it like, oh no, be like too wide on there, just so you look, no, whatever, it's fine, it doesn't matter, it's fine. Actually, wait, if I go, make it twice as big and then go like, -1. It's fine, don't worry about it. And then, I just want to end one. You need to come out of there. So then you're gonna be laser end. Yeah, gotta do a bit of just putting stuff together. And then you're gonna be like, there. You're gonna use, what material am I gonna pick today? Pick randomly and that one. The yellow and the, why are the yellow and the lime so similar? I just not change. It looks slightly whatever, I'm not gonna, it's fine. I think the post-processing is doing stuff that's making it look a lot more similar. But whatever, it's fine. I don't got time to worry about it. Then it's like, oh hey, this is looking cool. Hello to Solstice. It always throws me off for a second whenever, like, in here in Infinite OBS, there's a lot of people that have the same color or slightly different colors. It always takes me a second to realize that I'm talking to a different person. The conveyor belt has come a long way since that first stream. Yeah, it has. It's very cool. It still has more to go, but it's in like a decent enough state for now, which is cool and all. Yeah, the conveyor belt itself is also, yeah, super cool with it. It's being all physicky and it's awesome. Can fix that. Oh hey, I see you changed. I see you've changed your colors. But see now, when someone who is blue comes in, like Francesco, then we're gonna have more problems. What's also weird, I don't actually know what controls this, but below the chat color and then the what's over in OBS, sometimes they match, but many times they don't. Like here, Skilly is like an orangey kind of here, and over here it's like a more pink. I don't know what controls that, but it does as it pleases. Doesn't matter that much, but me Wi-Fi mean? No. Yeah. It's more worse if my Wi-Fi is being mean than the stream go down, which it actually did a couple streams ago, and that was a problem, which shouldn't happen. That my internet here is pretty good, and the internet in my new place should also be, ideally it shouldn't have problems, but so I don't want to speak too soon. Yeah, Twitch doing Twitch things. Woo! Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so now we're making lasers, and I spent 2.5 hours rambling about everything but the lasers, and we're, yeah, very early stages of making these lasers, but literally all currently done is like, wow, it hits, it goes forward, and it's very extremely hard-coded. Amazing. Right now, I guess, yeah, these early stages, I am hard-coding a lot of things to then make it more not hard-coded eventually. Okay, so let me just, but I will potentially have to end things off soon. I did before I'd end things off at like midnight, and then I didn't, but, eventually. So for now, I want to at least just get like a reflection to happen, and then maybe I'll have another stream where I do more than that. But I am moving soon, so I don't know for sure if this will be the last stream before my move or not. And if I have at least one more, it will probably also be a short stream. We'll see. That's just, yeah. It depends on how busy I am with other things. But then, as I said, I think after I move, everything's all like sorted out there, then I think I'll be streaming more consistently. Well, maybe. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna be optimistic about it. Okay, so... Oh, wait, first thing I'm gonna do, actually, is, before I go any further, is this thing of if it doesn't hit. I'm writing a lot of code that's gonna, like, assume that it hits. And right now I'm kind of hard coding stuff, and then it'll become more in functions and, like, for loops and whatever. It's a process. It's a process. If we don't hit, then I want to set the position to just be like, go as far out as the total laser length, which is going to be just transform.forward. Wait. Well, no. It's going to be this plus this times this, I believe. I mean, I guess I'll just quickly test that before I go any further. The testing code is good. Just move out of the way. I should just see, go 100 into the distance. Yeah, good enough. We're gonna have it, like, actually, like, fade as it, like, runs out or whatever. Because, so just to also recap, one thing I'm doing slightly different than how lasers are sometimes made in games. You might have laser will redeflect, or will keep reflecting until it hits a point where it stops. Maybe a laser can only reflect off of certain things, whatever. We're doing it just because there's no real reason. It's just how I decided I want to do it, just because. Laser will reflect off of anything and everything unless I make some special thing it won't reflect off of. In theory, this is part of an actual game. Maybe it would reflect off of the player or an enemy or whatever. But, like, as far as the walls go, it reflects off of everything up until a certain, like, max distance that it goes. Once it hits that distance, then it doesn't go further, and it'll, like, fade out. So that's the idea that's the way I want to do it at the moment. I was considering, it could be based on, like, total number of bounces, but I'd rather it be a total distance. I just think that's more interesting. Just what I want to do. I could do it either way. It doesn't really matter that much. I just decide I want to do it this way, and that's how we're going to do it. So, so that is that. But then, okay. So assuming it's bounced once, in theory, like, if this means it's not bounced, then it would end. I'm gonna just go off of that it totally bounced and stuff, which means, I guess, technically I write in here, but then we'll extrapolate it later. But in order to get to the next point, the main thing that has to happen is we gotta be like, you know, here's the way that we hit, here's the way we not hit. I know Unity has built in, like, vector3.reflect. I went into this knowing that this wouldn't be that bad because I knew that this exists. I just gotta, you know, make sure I actually pass in the right things and that it's actually gonna work the way that I want. So, I gotta save the thing. I'm gonna up here, yeah, just make a, because we're probably gonna have to, it'd be more helpful to be like so I could, yeah, access up here. In different functions, just a like cur laser forward or something equals. Well, I mean, vector3. I don't like the idea of it being vector3.0 as an initial value. Not that probably matters too much. But, and then if I am going to use that, I might as well go equals transform.forward. It's the same, but it's for the principle of the thing. Because then after the first bounce, then it's going to actually matter. Okay, I replaced it in the right places, hopefully. Okay, so now in here, put in the current laser forward, and then the normal. This is the normal. Oh, right. This is right. In direction, the normal is what I know what a normal vector is. Yeah. But to get that's gonna be hit dot normal, right? Yeah, love when physics things calculate things for me automatically. Booyah! See, it's so funny, like, the parallels of this and, like, in school. If this was as a school project or whatever, it'd be like, you gotta calculate everything manually. No helper functions for you. Yeah, but out here in the real world, I can, yeah, just go like this and use the functions as they exist and go, no. I mean, I've definitely done these kind of calculations before in math classes and all that. I know... Like you do, I know the thing that the angle. I mean, I could not recite the specifics of what you do off the top of my head. I'm sure with enough time I maybe could, but yeah, I know you calculate stuff with angles. And, yeah. Hey, teacher, here's a little music request for thy playlist. Heaven Pierce Cure Order. I am not familiar with that, but you're referring to like potentially adding something to my list of 1,000 random bits of video game music. Currently playing something from Sonic Lost World. A lot. I actually do want to at some point kind of go through, and there's a lot of things I might cut out of this, but I haven't cared enough to do so. Or even then finding other things and occasionally adding more stuff. But I'm just curious of like Googling blah. The idea is just, well, random video game music, usually from games that I like or at least tolerate. This looks like what is this from? Is this not from a game? Is this from an actual person? If, because I mean, the one thing I have to be like cautious of is I don't want to play copyrighted music on stream and all that. That's a whole thing. To me, I don't know what Order, Ultra Kill, P1 Theme 2. I'm not seeing like, what am I don't know. Oh, this looks like, is it a game called Ultra Kill? Okay, so it is from a game? Perhaps. Ultra Kill game, I'm back. Oh, I random, hello. We made like 2% more progress on these lasers. With lots of random, interesting. So yeah, I'm not familiar with this, but in older game, it's more likely to be fine as far as copyright stuff is concerned. One thing is like the Cuphead soundtrack. A lot of that was in my playlist at one point, and then it was getting all copyright. Not copyright claimed isn't the right word. I think there's a different word I should be using. But so not just that much for like the YouTube VODs or whatever. But I just like to not have to worry about any such thing. So yeah. It's a fast-paced FPS. Gotcha. I don't play a lot of first-person shooters. It's not. There's definitely exceptions, but it's not completely my favorite style of game. But yeah. There's Portal, but Portal doesn't necessarily count. That's a very different type of game. And it was only like a couple years ago when I actually went through all the Half-Life games for the first time. Which those are good. Those be good. Half-Life Alyx, the VR game, is really, really good. The best, like, graphically best VR game that I've played so far. There's games like Boneworks that have a lot of, like, cool physical things going on, but just in terms of pure, like, that 3D model of things with lighting and blah, blah, blah is gorgeous. Half-Life Alyx currently takes the cake for me, although I know, more games have come up since then that I haven't played. Like, people who made Boneworks made another game, I think it's Bone Lab or something, it's on my list, but, I'll get to it eventually. But, yeah. Who here knows the small game developer Danny? I do, I'm aware. Haven't seen any of his videos in a while, been busy. But, yeah, I'm aware of his existence. I haven't watched a heap of his videos, but I'm, aware of existence. But, yeah. Right, lasers. I need to actually do lasers. I'll at least get reflections working before I go to bed. We're gonna hard code this to 3. Actually, okay, I will do slightly less hard coding by just going like, if we're about to do the next point, go this, plus, plus. I don't think I can use set position with a thing that doesn't exist and have it autofill the thing. I'm assuming this works like normal list where it'll be an out of bounds error. But again, I'm just gonna, like, I'm hard coding it for right now within the plan to less hard code it later. Oh wait, right, this isn't done yet. I then need to, okay, it's gonna look ugly now with looking less ugly later. I'm gonna keep restating it. Basically, go from, because I'm hard coding this to then look at the common elements to then see what really needs to be, what can be sort of combined. I can reuse the hit. I would like to, instead of being laser length, I would potentially get the distance of this line and then subtract that. I'll get to that. Not that that's, whoa. I'll miss it. Oh, has he not made videos in a while? I haven't kept up with that. Muck. Oh no. See, I maybe don't even know enough of him. If I'm going to make the assumption that's like a recurring referencey thing of him. In fact, that I'm not familiar with that, I think that means that I'm a fake fan. Do you know how to use Unreal Engine? I've experimented with it for an afternoon and couldn't get input to move a cube. Like, I was effectively trying to do like something similar to the Rollerball Unity thing, but in Unreal, and I couldn't figure it out. However, I didn't look at any tutorials, I didn't do any Googling, I just went in and discovered that I can't use, like, Unity logic. There's definitely very different, like, logic that needs to be done. But I'm sure that it's not that hard to do what I was trying to do. It's just, I just gotta Google and find the right things. I'm sure I can figure out, like, I'm sure that, like, it's... Not even think of, like, I'm so smart, I could figure it out fast. I mean, like, the program, it's there's probably, like, a tutorial to figure out how to do it in, like, 5 seconds. It's probably something super easy to do just for anyone. But Unreal's equivalent to roll a ball is push a cube. Is it? I have no idea. I'm just saying that, like, I opened Unreal in, like, a default project and then went... I don't even remember. I honestly, it was actually a while ago. I don't remember if it was a cube or a sphere. It could have been a ball. Just, here's a thing. Can I get input and have the thing move? I was just like, can I figure out how to do that? Like, because that's, you know, usually how you start making a player is get thing to move based on player input. And I couldn't figure it out. More was I think it was the getting input that was more the issue. And I was using, like, the visual scripting stuff. I was trying to also figure out that. But again, I'm sure it's like, I was like, I didn't do it for that long, and, like, I was busy and I got busy with other things. I'd be curious to actually give Unreal a proper go at some point and actually try doing stuff with it, but I don't get the time right now. Too much invested in Unity. Bro tried to solve math by studying tubes. Well, like, I mean, so I also wasn't just in a blank project. I was in, like, whatever the default Unreal thing is that has, like, stuff. It had, like, a default, like, character or whatever, but, like, I don't use default stuff. I gotta do everything manually. No, that's my main developer software. Fair enough, fair enough. So I see you're on the dark side. No, definitely they both have pros and cons or whatever. I personally, the main reason I stick with Unity is C#. It's 90% because I like C#, the programming language, and if somehow Unreal had, I know it has C++, but C++ ain't C#. They're close, but not the same. If Unreal somehow was able to have C#, then I would be more willing to jump ship. No, well, I don't know, but I'd be curious. I am interested in the idea of, like, growing my skill set of trying out different game engines and not just being only doing stuff with one. But I already have enough things that I'm trying to do that yeah, eventually. And that can also be some stream content, like even other outside of Unity and Unreal. There's, like, Godot, there's kind of RPG Maker, there's, like, others that I'm forgetting the names of, but, like, yeah, all the common game engines that people use. I'd be interested in learning little bits of a bunch of them. Even 3D modeling software, like I use Blender, trying out Maya and stuff like that. I mean, ideally, so in terms of both of those things, game engines and 3D modeling stuff, first I'm going to go through all the free ones, likely. I'm not going to drop a whole bunch of money on stuff I'm going to use for a week as just a fun experiment, probably. But yeah, unless you donate, but no. See, also part of the reason why I use Unity and Blender specifically, is, especially back in the day, is because they were free and easily accessible. And Unity especially has lots of tutorials and stuff that I'm slowly adding to the pile. 14 of the bajillion of tutorials out there. I want to make more tutorials, and I have more consistency with, like, the YouTube stuff that I'm doing. But then I also want to make Unity animated shorts, and I have some cool ideas, hopefully cool ideas with that sort of stuff. That hopefully that'll also be cool. And then I also want to kind of sort of combine Unity shorts and my Unity tutorials, like doing stuff that kind of in a Venn diagram is a bit of an overlap of both, which basically just means making my Unity tutorials way more visually interesting, playing around with that kind of stuff. As also being kind of like cutscene practice for my games would be cool. But and more even also just making visually cool looking stuff in terms of 3D models and, like, camera angles, choreography and whatnot. Anyway, so what was I doing? So this is not the point that I want this to hit. I need this to do so you do a you do a second thing. Cur laser forward, total length, and then bois. If you don't, then do this. But then we'll also have a private float, starting to do some of this extrapolation of turning this into, like, a more of a either a recursive function or probably just a for loop of some kind, or a while loop. While loops are scary because whenever I mess around with while loops in Unity, I always make it crash. Although with a recursive function, I could have the same thing happen. But Important question. Should Bomb Dude be short and wide or tall and thin? So, the first thing I thought of was tall and thin because, well, wait, thin or short and wide makes me just think of King Bob-omb in, Mario, which you could go exactly into that design, which is just giant, big ball. But the idea more if instead he's more like he's made up of a bunch of, his suit or whatever is like a bunch of spheres. Seems maybe more visually interesting to me, more creative or whatever. But more like basically, yeah, he's made out of a bunch of spheres that are bombs. That's also, when I think bombs, I think of the Mario style of being a sphere. I guess that bombs don't have to necessarily be like that. You could have, like, he's strapped with C4 and, like, classic, like, dynamite. He can have dynamite fingers, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much, like, the idea of every inch of him is bomb-themed. And not just him, but his entire arena, even if it's not something that explodes, just it being bomb-themed. I don't know, that idea is funny. But what's his motive? He's also got to have a motive, and then that could somehow maybe a little bit reflected in his character design. But it has to be like, I'm trying to take over the world to do whatever evil action, but it's like a Doofenshmirtz level. Like, it's maybe kind of evil, but it's not like Joker evil, or I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's no rules. There doesn't be any rules. You can have a villain who's actually like, oh god, that's messed up. But like, I don't know. Sounds like a good old recursive function. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably where this will go. I haven't done much recursive function stuff in Unity. I'll usually just do for loops, while loops, and whatnot. But we should, do the things that would actually be more efficient or whatever. But his motive is boom equals funny. Explode. Make explosions that, like, some bombs where it's not like, normal bombs that's like, yeah, it explodes and destroys stuff. It's like, here's like explosion of food, or like of cupcakes, or like this explosion of paint, like paint explosions, graffiti up walls. Like, he has a bunch of different weapons that like doing different purposes, but it's all explosion based. That could be a thing. It's like, oh, I need to get up these, or I need to jump up there. Explosion on the ground. He explodes himself to like jump across the map. That would be funny. Yeah, just a silly fella, not fully evil. Making things of Bomb Voyage. Ooh, I want to say that rings a bell a little bit. Bomb Voyage. Is that like a game where you just launch yourself around? Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, right. No, sorry. No, that, yeah, Incredibles. I'm aware of. So I'm aware of this guy. I did not remember that his name is Bomb Voyage. Yeah, the mime from the beginning of The Incredibles. Yep, aware of that. Yeah, a smoke bomb, that's the thing. See, it's fun to just, like, plan random, like, yeah. Go too far with ideas on purpose and see what actually ends up in a game. But, yeah. Bomb Voyage. Silly fella, not fully evil. I don't fully, like, as far as that game and the villains in that, I don't know how much I'd actually fluctuate between, villains that have silly motives, and then I don't know if it'll like start with all like the silly motives and then start to gear towards starting like the more final levels that get really difficult. Basically, the more difficult the level it is, like what the villain's plan is, it actually starts to get more actually intimidating, actually serious, or whatever. Or I just keep it jokey fun the whole time. I don't know. I don't know what I'm necessarily going to do with that, but don't mind if I do. I can be real silly with characters. With Handyman with the unicycle, so I think I'm a little on the fence with that. I think, like, that's a thing that's going to have a lot of, I guess, some silly premises, I guess. But I think the characters themselves aren't going to be the most top of the, like, extreme silliness as far as silliness goes. Not that it won't be silly at all, but I think it'll be, the characters in that will be a little bit more, I don't even know if serious is the right word, but, like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like, if you guys know Jak and Daxter, a lot of the characters in that, or like Jak 2, like that vibe a little bit, but maybe not entirely. One thing with me and my game ideas, I often struggle to explain things, but yeah, there's definitely better words that we use to try to like communicate what I mean. But anyway, yeah. Okay, what was even like the main character of that game, Handy Harold Henderson.
I don't fully know what he's gonna look like yet. I'm still figuring that out. One thing that's hard about designing a main character compared to like, oh, it's the background NPC. When you're designing like a background NPC, you can basically make it look like just under whatever you want, and like how it looks doesn't necessarily matter as long as it communicates whatever idea. When you're designing a main character, like the person that the player is playing as, you have to have all these extra considerations of like the actual playing of it, and like does what they look like fit what they're physically doing in how you play them, like whether they need to be tall or short, or like if this guy rides a unicycle, I gotta make sure his legs are long enough to like, if he has tiny legs, that doesn't necessarily work with the unicycle unless I make the unicycle work with that or whatever. But like how the unicycle looks and the physical dimensions of that have to fit with how the person looks or whatever, and then whatever things they might be interacting with. Commonly in a 3D platformer kind of game, you have the camera being behind the character's head, so making sure they look visually interesting from behind, like that's important, that kind of thing. A color scheme that if I'm going to have a lot of levels in a lot of different environments, getting a color scheme that's going to look decent in all of those environments and isn't going to have a problem in a lot of environments of like whatever problems that might happen. Like, in Hand Me With a Unicycle, I'm going to have, in theory, a lot of different environments, like, whatever. If I were to say, be like, oh, here's a game where the main color you're going to see is green, I get, like, oh, lots of grass or whatever. And then, like, oh, the main character, let's make them green. Then it's like, oh, wait, green on green, that might not look so good. I mean, depending on what you do, like, maybe the contrast looks good, whatever. But, in theory, you'd go with a color that's not green to contrast it, whatever. But that doesn't necessarily apply to the Hand Me With a Unicycle, because in theory that's going to be a lot of different environments. But even like what a character's wearing, if you have a game that takes place 90% in like a desert, and like, yeah, let's design the character like the big fluffy coat. It's like, does that make sense? But then also it's like, oh, this character, I don't know, whatever the other end, like doesn't look like they should be in a snowy environment, and then like they're in a frozen tundra, then that's also, I don't know. But you're like, you're like Mario, that like, yeah, it's like, yeah, that design work. You throw that in any environment, like it's good enough. But yeah, basically, there's this extra consideration that has to happen with like the what situations they'll be in and stuff like that, and then interacting with other characters and like whatever. But yeah, still, even just my own extreme indecisiveness of like what the character should. I have like rough ideas, but like there's and then a lot of the bosses in that game with. Okay, let me catch up with messages. Loki see Henny is a old, tall dude with a mustache and a little hat that covers his eyes. It covers it, yeah. My headcanon, but yeah. You are the reason I speed Cube. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, here's Cube over here. One thing I'd like to do potentially is just, at some point, do more with getting better at solving Rubik's Cube. But yeah, that's very awesome. Vibranium, yeah. Ooh. I do want to get better at solving Rubik's Cube at one point. I definitely like, it's like I learned a beginner way of solving Rubik's Cube and then started to learn the more advanced proper way of how people usually solve Rubik's Cubes and didn't finish that. So what I do is like a mishmash of them, but I want to like finish properly learning the sort of common, normal, advanced way of how you solve Rubik's Cube that has a lot of memorization involved and whatever. But yeah, at some point that'll happen. I have my own ideas in mind of what. So there is with the Hand Me With a Unicycle, there's the extravagant full game kind of that I have in mind. Then before I make that, I have an idea of a demo version of it. Okay, for real, I'm good at it. All right, my friend, well, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, see you around and all that. I want to make a demo of the Hand Me With a Unicycle that's like a bite-sized piece of what that game is. And it's going to have 3 demo levels that we did a lot of planning with and started to even make the middle. We started with the middle one because of reasons. Next stream, it's really hard for me to say right now because I'm going to be moving very imminently. So I don't know if this is going to be the last stream before I move. And if that's the case, I won't be streaming for at least a week. Maybe longer. Unfortunately, that's just how busy be. It might have like one more stream before then, and I'm not sure. It's gonna depend on how busy I am with prepping for movie. Yeah, so unfortunately, like when I started streaming again, it was when I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have some free time to stream consistently. And then that kind of kept not happening because of just different things that just
I wasn't as non-busy as I thought I was when I decided I was not busy enough to start streaming again. But that's okay. I'm still happy that I did start when I did. Hope you should have started sooner, but yeah. But I am still going to try to stream when I can, and even when I'm not streaming, I'm still working on stuff in the background. Like before I started this stream, I actually was earlier today doing some tedious work of not in this project, but more with the scene with the conveyor belt. Doing a lot of cleaning up of the actual scene itself and deleting some of the old testing stuff. I put this on GitHub, so it's like backed up. So I still do have stuff that I'm working on even between streams, like with my tutorials. Doing more stuff, planning that kind of stuff, and yeah. Okay, so what I was saying with the Hangman the Unicycle. Okay, good night. All right, bye for random. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Woo. Okay, so to finish my train of thought with what I was saying with the Hangman the Unicycle. So I want to make a demo that's gonna have 3 levels. Although at first I kind of had rough ideas for the thing. The first one I might change. Like the first one is the one that's like the least planned, but yeah, still getting to that. But my plans for the demo currently have plans for 5 characters that I need to make. It's like, yeah, sort of a bite-sized chunk of the game. 5 characters, one of them being the main character, Andy Harold Henderson, and then 4 others for different reasons. So, and it's funny, there's some characters that I have more thorough, a better idea of what they're gonna look like, or at least who they are, the personalities, like whatever, that I have more fleshed out, but not the main character specifically. I mean, I have some stuff, like the personality and stuff, blah blah blah, and some general idea of what they're gonna look like. It's more the specifics, like the specifics that I gotta figure out. Like, I'm not even sure like what their hair color is gonna be, whether it's like. Well, I'm thinking I'm purposely gonna say he's not gonna be brown hair, because just so he specifically doesn't look like me. Yeah, the character's not meant to be me, so designed to be not exactly me. But yeah, then the other characters, yeah, but then I have more ideas for like the other characters and stuff that I want in this demo. One of them being a villain that might be part of like a boss fight kind of thing. Although, so I know conceptually what I want to do with a lot of the villains in the Hangman with the Unicycle, but I'm almost purposely holding off on fully designing them, because a lot of the villains are going to be boss fights that I don't fully have planned out in like the order and whatever. And I almost want to wait until I'm like designing a certain villain's boss fight, figure out the mechanic of what that's going to be, and then come up with a design that fits the boss fight itself and that kind of a thing. I more want to design it kind of, yeah, the gameplay first, story second a little bit, but I have the overarching like idea of what the general group of villains are going to be in that game. So yeah. Handy gives me monochrome color scheme vibes, I'm gonna be honest. When you saw it before, there wasn't that much like going on, like a lot of the art like isn't there in terms of what's in my head versus like what's in Unity. There's like very bare bones in Unity. Even like the character controller stuff, I'm gonna be doing a lot of tinkering with it more and changing some stuff with how it currently works that I think can maybe have a better final result and be more interesting. Mainly, it's not as momentum based as it should be. I want to be able to like, you go down a ramp, you pick up speed, and like, you go downhill, go off ramp, you gain a lot of speed and like can launch over a gap. I want that to be more of a thing. So I need more programming in place for that to be possible. And then even like, if you have a lot of speed, you can kind of go up walls a bit. I would like you to potentially, if you have enough speed, be able to actually like do a full loop-to-loop, which then the going upside down, I gotta make the code work with that. But yeah, there's like almost a little bit of like skateboarding game vibes, a little bit, mainly just in the momentum, more so. More of what I conceptually want out of it, because I also still gotta balance the fact that you're gonna be weaving in and around hazards. The controls have to be tight enough that you can do that and not like, oh no, the controls like didn't respond good enough that I hit that hazard or whatever. Wait, I just caught up. You were moving? Oh yes, Francesca. I don't want to give too much details because I don't want to dox my new location before I'm even in it. But yeah, very shortly, I'm gonna be here anymore. I'm gonna be in a new place that will be cool and all. So look forward to new background. That'll be cool and stuff. Yeah, so that be happening. But then because of that, I'm gonna be super busy with that moving process, and so I'm probably not gonna be streaming while that's the case. So wait, I just realized. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, so I won't dox myself anyway. My location is exactly blah 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 blah. During this housing crisis, yeah. So renting. First of all, I'm not buying a place. I'm renting, and I have roommates and all that. And yeah, no, it's definitely been hard. Even just finding a place it was very, very difficult. Which is why also I was expecting to be moving a lot later, and then we found a place that's like perfect, and stuff got like kind of sped up a lot more. Still, yeah. Well, I mean, also I like yeah, I have a full-time job, and like that's going very well. So there is that. It's a lot of work. As I said, like I've been super busy with it, but like there's pros and cons to that. I can afford to move out yet sadly because prices are so high. Yeah, it is a lot. It's definitely been very tough. But yeah, I do recognize I'm very fortunate that I'm able to be in the position that I am. That yeah, because I am moving and not like living with my parents or anything or whatever. But I worked my butt off to get here with like all the university and again the job that I have currently is a very like tough job. But yeah, I'm doing good and such. But yeah, I see if there's any places where my word. I should see if there's any places near where my college is. I haven't checked yet. Well, unfortunately, living near schools can be more expensive sometimes. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot. But I low-key want to make the dude something like a Robotnik, but hey, what do you mean Robotnik isn't cool? No, no. Well, it depends on if you're talking about the Robotnik era or the Eggman era. No, well, no. Modern Eggman is a joke, but like, in like Sonic Adventure 2 era, cooler. Anyway, but what words? Cause I can't see bomb-related character being thin other than an actual bomb head. Yeah, I'm just throwing out random ideas. Like I don't know. I am the most indecisive person alive, especially when it comes to like character designs and like in level design stuff. It's tricky. I can be decent at coming up with general overarching ideas with a lot of things. Like even like right now, there's plenty of all this random stuff with with the Unicycle and Ultra Tank and all that. But then trying to then take those general ideas and make them more concrete and like figuring out the fine details and deciding on an actual like, oh, here's exactly what it's gonna look like. Here's a character sketch, like whatever. I really struggle with that step. But with practice, hopefully I can get better at such things. But especially when it's a situation where it's like there's no right answer, like there's different avenues like it could get. That's where it's like extra hard to decide. That's why I like with programming. Like it's often true with a lot of times with programming, there's multiple solutions to a problem, but it feels easier to be like, here's a solution that like I don't know, feels more exact and like is more of a right way where it's not like there's a million different solutions to a problem. I can be like, oh, there's maybe like 4 things I could do. Here's the pros and cons of each of them, and because of that, I can narrow it down. Okay, here's the way I should do this thing, and then do it a little bit. Error in this case. Hold up, man. Let me. Yeah, I mean, you could go with like the design of the big like singular bomb design, or there's the I don't know. We made up a bunch of bombs. Like I don't know. One thing that can be helpful in a game kind of sense is to think of like how the thing's going to be used, how the character's going to be used, stuff the character's going to do, or if in terms of a player, what are game mechanics that the player's going to do, and then retroactively make it fit into the design to be able to do those things. That can at least help narrow down stuff. Like I have character the unicycle guy who's going to ride a unicycle, and by to some degree like. Well, yeah, like, you're gonna be riding a unicycle and, like, we still kind of look like a repair guy to some degree. I have the random backstory of, like, he's had previous employment as, like, a plumber, a repairman, and a professional skateboarder. because the rule of three things, but then also like it justifies how he's never ridden a unicycle before, yet he's able to decently like bounce on it like first try. Like I don't know, yeah. And then it later on can justify me the potential idea of having a level that takes place in like a skateboard like park kind of thing and doing stuff with that, and like we'll see. And then if I do that, then it gives me justification like in terms of having references to past stuff I've done. How many of you remember the kick flipping T-Rex? Does anyone remember when I did that? Let me go to here. Here's a second of my video. It's fine. So way back over here. So this was a thing I made. Oh, this is the location when I started streaming. I'm not in this location anymore either. Yeah. Look at me from a year ago. I look the same. Wow. With the lab coat, because even there I'm wearing a lab coat, but I was always like overheating. Now like it's summer. I choose to not be dying of heat stroke. But that was a get cool that I'll go back to the lab coat, to the branding. Anyway, so this was a school project where I had to remake a game, and then make it like better, more with a focus on like user interface stuff. So I made this guy, made him from scratch. This game turned out great. It was amazing. But then also, and I get to it, when you click the wrong number, he face plants and it's great. Yeah. Best thing I've ever made. But anyway, so this only relates to like if I do something skateboarded related, like maybe I could have like some kind of mascot in a T-Rex outfit that's purple and basically looks like that thing, but not being a T-Rex, being like a guy in a mascot costume or something. Random idea. I don't know how I'd actually integrate that, but that's just random little piece of what could be an idea that just, yeah, for the sake of just referencing some past thing that I've done. That could be funny. Anywho, it's 1:42. I really do gotta, unfortunately, cut things off soon. I'm enjoying streaming. I like, there's actually, yeah, people here having a conversation. I can ramble about all this random stuff that I've done, and the more stuff I do, the more things I can retroactively ramble about. Yeah. Nah, let's try to at least just get the get the reflecting to be working. So I was making a float based on the we have the total laser length, and then like what's like leftover laser length? I don't know. I feel like also when I'm streaming, I'm like way more coming up with just the most random. You'll be 0, you'll be assigned. On start, you'll be like equals total length. When I'm streaming, I've noticed I come up with way more like weird, random, spur of the moment like variable names. Where like when I'm like on my own, I'll spend more time being like, what do I call this thing? What's like the perfect name that's like has a proper like format and consistency? But when I'm streaming, I'm like, I just gotta go, whatever the first thing I can think of, I type and just go with it. Okay, so this should be leftover length on both of these. Technically these, I mean, well, okay, technically. Those two don't matter as much, but like these, it's gonna be that. But then after you've hit, then I just want to go this now minus equals. That's got the. There's not an easy way to be like to get the distance, right? Is there distance? Ooh, cool. I don't have to calculate manually. Why not? Wait, I can set you. I guess, sure, but yeah, whatever. I guess maybe if you wanted to like, well, does that actually move the point? I'm not completely sure. Maybe it does. I don't know. That's yeah, random things I've just never happened to use, but I guess it makes sense you could modify such things. And then that uses that uses the leftover set position based on where you went. No, well, yes, but then okay. So then I can see how this then becomes easily recursable because it's just this that just keeps going. But yeah, okay. Yeah, let's just get this in here. So this should go bam, bam, and then hit there. Please actually do that. Oh, actually, you're gonna bounce back, aren't you? Yeah. So you're working, but no. I only made you do the twice. Never mind. You're not gonna bounce back because I didn't do the. But yeah. 3 hours in, and like like only like it feels like 10 minutes of actually programming stuff. We got a laser that reflects off of stuff. Whoa. What I'm gonna do, yeah, right now I'm also just gonna temporarily, I'm gonna all of you, because even this is gonna, well, I guess the start of this, up to here could be here. Yeah. No, because I need to like reset the things. But this is definitely not efficient. But I'm gonna do it for right now because it's easier. Because now in theory, oh, what the heck? Okay, so there's something that's not coded right if it doesn't like go off of anything. So sure, I'll correct that. But we do have, let me make this just wider for a second. We got lasers and they reflect off of perfect angles. Yeah. Actually, even this I should be pivoting off of this because then it can go more. Wait, even here you're not. Okay, super weird, but I'm sure it's something that's like not that bad. No. Okay, but yeah, woo, basic laser. So I'd like to figure out like why when it bounces off of nothing. I'm sure because this is like, yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense that would be that way. Okay, so I just want to double check that it's still gonna actually work. Yay! Ooh, and yeah, you go off for like a while, but makes sense. Woohoo! Working. I'm sorry. Did you just? Oh, wait. Why, though? Why would you not? No, why? What? I'm sorry, you want to run that by me again? Why is this angle up? I have to assume that... Wait. No. No, what? Excuse me? Why is it hits a... I'm sure there's a way, there's some math that makes sense here, but why does it even... Because, I mean, this should be like, it's... Oh, wait, what the heck? Yeah, because it's like... It's not going, and then it suddenly is, but like too early, and then it's not, and then it goes through. Weird. Is it possible that... Why? Why would that be happening that way? I mean, that's... So the thing that should be failing here is that the raycast didn't hit. I just want to double check. I mean, if I comment that part out, then it's not going to do anything. It could be just that I didn't calculate this right. Oh, because you get position... Yeah, okay, it's just that. Let me just immediately back out on this test. It's just that, right? Because you're supposed to go off of the previous one, which eventually will be part of... so the thing with... If it's for loops, then I can use index stuff. Or if it's recursion, I can just pass that as input. Okay, is it now fine? Yay! Okay, physics makes sense again. Woo! Yeah! And because of the way we did it, like 3D should be fine, right? Like, so we were testing stuff in a 2D manner, but like keeping in mind that, yeah, if 3D works, then that's also perfect. Cool. Cool. Yeah, booyah. Yeah. Okay, so next, go on to this now, or I don't want to, like, again, I gotta like actually go at some point. Maybe I can quickly... I mean, we're basically... we're done with a lot of this if I can just quickly put this in a recursive function. But that's going to take time in, like, editing. And, void... just... calc... laser position... I don't know. So, I mean, okay, I can quickly go... So, there's stuff that happens on, like, the first bit. It'd be easiest if I just also make this raycast thing. I can do a little bit of this. I can go a tiny bit longer. Make you that, then I don't gotta... As long as you get reset when you should, this has kind of got, there's like the first things that have to sort of happen, and then it can be calc, laser, position, manually set the first point. I still don't see a reason not to. I don't need to have the recursion calculate that bit. Well, then start on the first one. I don't know if I want to manually do the first point. Nah. Okay, so let's see if I can make this recursive. If I do, I'm gonna need some kind of. What am I gonna need? I mean, things don't have to be recursive if I just have private variables that keep getting changed. Is it like messy to do that though? Does it matter? If I change, so here's, okay, well here's part of where it matters. If I change stuff here and then go in the recursion, when you back out of the recursion, they'll still be changed, so that could cause problems. If I'm passing stuff in the recursion, then as I back out, it'll be what it was at that moment in time. I think for now, I'm just gonna I'll try just passing in the index as input and then let the other things be as is, and that's gonna hopefully be fine. Because I imagine for the most part, the recursion, once it starts backing out, it's gonna immediately back out sort of all the way up, probably, which is the way this is gonna be used. So calculate position, well, I guess you're gonna I'll start you at 1, because 0 being, 0. So then this gets to be, and yeah, probably wrote out index instead of just being I like a for loop. You'll be, so now I'm just gonna, start by putting these things in the place of, I. So 1 being index, all the 1s being index to start. 0 being index minus 1. Make sure I'm replacing the right things. I don't replace a wrong thing. This will be this plus 1, but this part will probably be removed in a second. But I'm just going to do it for the sake of the principle of doing it. Okay, so we test if, based on our current forward direction, we get the hit thing, we get the laser length, blah, 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 blah. Once we've done one of these else's, then we know we can back out all the way. So that's a thing. There's so actually basically just this, right? Like at this point, because once it goes in, it would then calculate this stuff. So maybe at here, then I just go calc laser position index. Index plus 1. I can go index equals index plus plus and then pass it in, but I guess I'll just do that. It's fine. And then that actually, is that it? That might be it actually. I'm gonna guess that this will have some problem, but I'm hoping. Wait, this needs return, right? Well, no, it doesn't need return stuff because it'll get to the end and then return, right? So yeah, technically that's fine. So the only place where this will have a problem, if this somehow were to try to go infinitely, it will reach a point where it will. Wait a minute. So right now it's gonna keep going until it doesn't hit something. But if it's bouncing back and forth infinitely, that's gonna be infinite. So okay, so that's why leftover laser length exists, because before we do anything, and we'll put this on the inside, that well, no, we'll put it here. When we just subtract it, be like, if that is now less than or equal to 0, then return, I guess. So I do have a return clause in there to don't keep going recursively, I guess. But if you get to here, then you're also just going to be returning. I don't need to write that. And I'm sure actually I could. Different ways that things can be shuffled around, like this could be at the top, and like whatever, it's fine. Am I assuming? I guess I'm assuming that. So, okay, one other thing that was supposed to be a thing is that technically, if the leftover length is 1, it's going to go and do a whole nother thing. It was kind of supposed to be that, like, if the leftover length is 20, and the next point that we're trying to hit is 30 meters away, that's supposed to do something special. Like, it's supposed to fizzle out and, like, run out before it gets all the way over there. Ooh, I could use... Oh, wait, I could use this setting the hit distance. That's kind of cool. Let's not jump too far ahead, though, and just test this as is. Maybe I will finish the laser bit today, huh? Because, yeah, I went into this being like, this won't, in theory, be that complicated or take that long. Yeah, so, okay, now... look at that! I mean, okay, so the line, okay, the line itself, what the heck? The line itself is doing some slight funky things, but being at the weird angle, I don't completely blame it. Yeah, I think it's just hitting like the edge of that, and I think I have on like the rounded corners or whatever, so I think that's what that was like, that overspill or whatever. But yeah, it's cool. That's cool. And I could set up more of a playground for, like, this isn't gonna save, but I can set up more. Yeah, look at that. It's cool. Maybe I'll do, like, so this can be the start, like, yeah, we made lasers. Maybe I'll have a follow-up stream where I actually make more with it, rather than just abandoning it immediately. Like, I could go all the way and try to make, if I do a little bit of planning, oh, that's cool. Oh, right, you can see the ending of it, and that's, like, it barely makes it, kind of. Interesting. I could do more with, like, maybe figuring out some kind of, we make a laser version of the animation down there or something. I don't know what that would be. It shouldn't just be, there's lasers. It would imply something that's actually moving. Like even just lasers going off of something that's like spinning around. So the laser's bouncing off a bunch of stuff. But like, I'd have to like figure more out of that. Because also the idea of having a animation thing down there, it shouldn't repeat too quickly. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Combine the lasers with the, actually the idea of combining the lasers with the cubes and it like cuts the cubes in half, but I'm not ready to do that yet. Actually, like what it would require to do that. Either the cheaty way where you just make one object and it like, or you make two objects and they look like they're together and then at the right time you just like separate them, but then the real way of like actually calculating exactly how it was cut. That's something I've never done before. It would be interesting to figure out, but I think we're gonna wait on that before I like a lot more I'd want to do before that, like with figuring out like mesh generation stuff in general, which I have never done in Unity. Did a tiny bit in like a little bit when I was doing some like DS programming stuff, but that's a very different ballgame. I'm sure well, in Unity there's more like built-in stuff, but still a lot of math is gonna be involved with doing that. There's something of cheating I could do probably if I were to assume like, here's a laser that's only going to cut these cubes in half. Cube easier than like presuming like any model at all. But, we'll figure that out at some points. If I even do that part. I mean, that's a whole like we'll see. Anywho, what else did I want to do here? Blah, 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 blah. I wanted to, okay, let's treat the leftover laser length how I probably want it to do work. If it can't make it all the way, well, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. No, I don't need to do the thing I was just about to say at all. I was gonna say if it doesn't make it all the way, then it'll fizzle out beforehand. But then it's just not gonna reach, right? Of course. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't need extra calculations for that at all. It just isn't gonna reach. It reaches. This is not ideal. Also, I know that everything I'm doing right now is gonna get undone when I go to play mode. I don't know if there's anything better I can do. Like I don't know exactly why that's doing that, other than just some weird thing of just being so short. It's trying to make another point that's just barely going over and it's not actually accomplishing anything. Maybe I could have that, like, if laser length is beneath, like, 1, don't bother or something. Maybe that would help a little bit. Yeah, I'll go to play that, yeah. It would be more proper to actually have it be a public variable, like a public float min laser length threshold or something equals 1. Just be like, if you're gonna make a laser this small, then don't bother. Which I don't know if this would have problems if I actually just wanted like just laser, just like maybe even 1's too big, but yeah. I got 10 hour shift in 9 hours. I'll get some sleep. Check out photos I sent whenever you can. Oh, sorry, you missed earlier for a second. I did actually look at the photos, but the time you were here. But yeah, very cool. I saw the Ben 10 jacket. Very cool and all that. And Yeah. But also, yeah, you're going, so, yeah, see ya, thank you for dropping by, as always, and, yeah, laser stuff's going well. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, and, yeah, I knew that, I said at first that it might not take that long, and then it totally did. Yeah, it must have been that long. Yeah, all good. Hold on. Let's see if I can figure out, like, more fun things we could do with this. I mean, having, like, mirrors and, like, the idea of, like, lasers cutting stuff in half is cool. Or having, like, oh, lasers going collision. Actually, extra step of that. Right now, we just have line renders going off. Actually figuring out, like, oh, that, I don't know how that would work. Like, positioning box colliders to actually, like, go between all the spots. Like, that, maybe that's an extra thing we do so that lasers do stuff. Oh, what would that even mean? Well, they wouldn't have, like, physics, but the idea that, like, a turning laser, like, if it's moving, it actually, like, pushes a cube, you know, that doesn't necessarily make sense. I don't know, it's mildly interesting, but I don't know how well that would work. Or even, like, a laser that's going out against, like, a thing here, it pushes the cube. It's mildly interesting and unique, because it would push it and then keep lengthening. I don't know, that's cool. There is also the idea of, like, right now, we're calculating, so we are calculating the entire laser every frame, which maybe isn't the most optimized way of doing this, but I am making this with the assumption of that I want to use this laser in a scenario where the laser is moving pretty constantly. So based on my use case, I'm designing it in a way to use it in a way where it basically will need to be recalculated every frame. So I'm fine with not going through extreme amount of effort to have it not necessarily be an update. Because also, how would you test for that? You'd need to somehow know, is the thing that I bounced off of, did it move somehow? Or is there now a new thing in the way? Like, that does get tricky, that I don't know the best way of how you would calculate that other than just spitting out a bunch more raycasts or whatever. Which, you know, is not ideal. I could, every frame, do just the raycasts, and then as long as it gets the same results as before, then don't do anything. But I feel like, at that point, like, the most performance problematic thing of this is the, the most performance problem part of this is the raycast. But it seems like the raycast is the only thing I can't really, you know, cut down as easily, but like, it's fine. As I said, I'm going off a case where it's like, oh, the laser's gonna potentially be turning constantly of what it's hitting, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I could change, like, the laser frame rate. It's like, oh, you know, only update yourself every 2 frames or something, but it's a small thing right now. It can handle doing it every frame. Like, there's also just, in this particular instance, it's a very small scale thing. If I do at some point, like, take this and put it in the Hamlet unicycle, I could potentially, if I wanted to, have the laser have, like, a boolean of calculate once, like, calculate once or, like, calculate constantly. It could have some settings on the as public variables that change its behavior to be, you know, maybe this laser level is constant. This one is every frame. This one every 2 frames or something. Yeah, that's possible. I did 2 doodles. Oh, cool. Yeah, fun. Was that of the Mr. Bomberman? Yeah. Same idea but different designs. Very cool, very cool. Love to see it. So it was simple. Is that what that's meant to be short for? Potentially. What was I just about to test? What was the last code I wrote? Min threshold that I didn't even put it in. Just, yeah, the idea, this might fix some issues with, yeah. I didn't test that, like one thing that I'm not sure if I maybe want a thing for specifically. Same was yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it was. Oh, cool. Interesting. That's, was it Portuguese or whatever? Is that what that, like, yeah. A word that I'm not familiar with. So one thing that's a bit maybe not great with this. Oh, the angle. Wait, what the? Oh, that's right. Oh, so even, yeah. Why do you look like this is, yeah, the angle. This isn't good. This would be quote unquote solved if it was, rather than one laser with a bunch of points, if each time it was instantiating a new laser segment. but I feel like that's a lot worse on performance. That not doing that would be great. You have loot be a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. I don't need the end cap vertices. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess I'm fine with it being weirdly rounded. This shouldn't have too many vertices. This is like good enough to like solve my problem that I don't have to do anything super massive coding wise. So I'm fine with. Oh, you can just be one. That's even better. 'Cause, I mean, well, it's almost better. The fact that I can, I mean, right here I can see it. Not. I don't know if I would want to purposely like, oh, based on where you hit, go a little bit further so that you're like in the object or whatever. But I think I'm fine with. Like, in this case, I'm fine with cheating it. Yeah, let it be a weird, like, round thing. This is a little bit strange, but, do you still look like that if I have you... Yeah, okay, that's one thing. A little bit not... maybe it's not that bad. I think, okay, it does seem to be, like, the more acute the angle gets. Lightning Stripes, what's up? Hello, hello! Lasers is what we're doing. Is then the more acute this is, the more it like seems to stick out. But then once it reaches a threshold where it doesn't, I guess that's like I'll live with it for now because it's fine. Unless I can. I mean, that's if I have. So I have that the corner vertices set to like very low. Oh come on! No, I want to turn the pivot here. Yeah. If I do this and then go laser. This at 0, then it's like fine, but also it does bend weirdly. Oh, hey, Skilly, I see the the images in the Discord. Yeah, glitter cannon, cool. See, I cannot draw this good. This is yeah, skill. Oh, the little like bomb enemies, yeah, that's cool. It's a blind oh, that's cool, yeah. And then, oh, I do like, yeah, see, yeah, that's, yeah. And the have a bunch of bombs, I like that. See, the goal you have the same prompt with different people come up with. Very creative. I like it. I would totally be down for, like, the hand moving unicycle stuff where I have a lot more concrete stuff planned in my head for some things. I mean, I'll still take ideas and all that, but, I think Ultra Tag is a better ground for, yeah, the idea of, you know, people giving random ideas, throwing in random designs, and just throwing nonsense at the wall and seeing what sticks in terms of just making weird, wacky characters for that. Yeah. Teacher, I'm a show designs. Oh yeah, awesome. Now lasers for your tanks. Oh yeah, with the right, laser tanks. Yeah, totally. Yeah, doing that on purpose. No, this was a completely just independent idea, but the idea of relating it to the conveyor belt somehow would be interesting. I mean, we thought of like one idea of like it, things going by on the conveyor belts and they get like sliced by a laser or whatever. That's a whole different like thing to have to program though, but yeah, potential things. But not skills, 7+ years of drawing daily pretty much. Fair enough. Fair enough. I would like to become better at drawing myself, I suppose, but yeah, that is a matter of putting in the time that I have not. Instead, I put in the time to doing this. Programming and stuff. Yeah, so I think I am... right now, of the two easy solutions, it being rounded but maybe being slightly off versus this, like, weird, it, like, not being the right length, I think I do prefer just to set this to... setting it to, let's go, 5 or something. And then end cap vertices 2. You shouldn't... No, you might see the end cap. Yeah, we'll go. You can go 5. You can afford a couple extra vertices. That could be, that is so much. That could be the game Laser Tanks. Just have them be able to bounce the lasers off the block. That would be fun PvP. Yeah, that would be cool. Because rather than just guns, yeah, as you said, the idea of having to specifically have them bounce off of stuff, that is, yeah, cool ideas for sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do like that. Maybe that's something we could play around with. I mean, yeah. Ooh, well, okay, so I'm about to say, like, I don't know how much I want to be, like, having too many... adding new ideas onto my already busy plate. But, like, I mean, as soon as I'm like, huh, this could be a hazard in the Handyman of the Unicycle, I'm more, like, interested in, like, spending a lot more time doing it. And, like, the idea of laser tanks being at the very least an enemy of some kind or part of a boss fight or whatever. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know how much I couldn't easily have the player character do that in the Hang with Unicycle. I'm sure there's potential ways, like, hey tank, go over that way. You're pressing buttons that, like, you know, guide a tank around. Maybe there's potential ideas if I think hard enough at it. I want to be careful with at least the Hang with Unicycle, not like, here's a level where the controls are completely different and I'm effectively making an entirely different game, because, like, that's, you know, a whole lot of extra development time and, like, whatever. So I want to be a bit careful about doing something that extravagant, but yeah, wealthy. But laser tanks is an idea that is a neat idea that totally could be something I play around with. Yeah. But yeah, lasers, they be working. This is definitely, like, you know, it's cooler when I have more of a lot more of an actual environment going on. Woo. But it's cool that it's working this efficiently and, like, the physics are, you know, doing as they should be doing. Oops, not that one. I want to go this one. Yeah, very cool. And as I said, the current logic that I've employed here is they'll just keep bouncing until it's gone a total distance of 100 meters, laser units, and then it just cuts out. I mean, right now it does just curve and end like a lightsaber. I was gonna potentially have it. Wait, can I easily? I'm curious how easily I can have it, like, fade out. Interesting. Let me get into that. I don't know how much I like it being that much of a point. Well, maybe I can have it. It doesn't need to fade out the whole way. More if it just fades out, like, kind of at the end. Hold on. You be flat on that side. Yeah, no, you're currently. I just gotta change the curves, and then I can maybe get more how I actually want it. Maybe with that too close to the end. Whoa. Okay, getting there. Yeah. Why am I not seeing, like, a lot of change in you? Excuse me? I'm seeing this going to 1, but, like, I was assuming that this was kind of like, what the heck? You missed. Yeah, I can't even attempt to read that out loud. But yes, har, Mr. Krabs. Yeah, why do you not, like? Why is this not wanting to? I assume, like, if I do with this, yeah, the width. I thought this was like 1 being like the total length of the laser. Oh, now I'm seeing it. What? Why? Weird. Why is that the point where that does that? Also, yeah, that's not how that's supposed to be. I mean, okay, yeah, mildly cool, but I want it's happening way too, like, fast for because in theory, like, if this was a laser that would cut the things or whatever, like, ideal to the length that it is, like, over here would still cut and doesn't look that way. Gotta, yeah, think about, you know, visuals and stuff that, like, matters. This is such a hard line. I want it to be very, like, it's all the way and then it cuts off almost immediately, but not completely immediately. And I don't know why this is being this way. I don't understand. Oh, here I have it. Yeah, it dips in the middle. But this shouldn't be at all how this is. I don't know. I guess it's something I can look back at later. It doesn't even get, like, bigger than it is. Whatever, it's fine. Back up. Actually, I don't know if I go to play mode if this shouldn't do. Yeah, whatever. I'll worry about that other time. That's not as important. It ending in, like, kind of lightsaber-y looking fashion isn't the worst thing in the world. Although the idea of having a more of a I should make actual more stuff. Oh, right. if I wanted to, like, you know, make a perfect, like, oh, here's exactly how it, you know, redirect perfectly or whatever, I can't exactly easily, you know, show... I can't exactly plan the laser, unless I... What option is to, like, take a bunch of, like, take these as they are, and go like, da-da-da-da-da, design a bunch of things. Or like, design the paths if it's, like, easy enough, whatever. I'll finish my sentence in a sec. That's what, you bounce off a couple things or whatever, it's, yeah. Take this, and then I can go, these are all called laser end, but whatever. Did I turn that? I think I can copy them, go out of play mode, delete, and then paste. Like, that works, I guess. It's a little clunky, but I'm sure. And I could, if I really wanted to, I could have code that's running in the editor that's having the laser go, but no, not you. I'm just gonna also call these wall, and let's just real quick have one more little thing of, can I get the laser to have, like, can I have a specific endpoint that's like, if you hit this, actually, I'm gonna, because I want to see the laser build also go off into whatever, I'll define it as, like, a separate, I can have 2 lasers, let's go, blah, and then you're gonna go, like, bah, 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 bah. Go off of you into this, and this is gonna be like a laser end thing. I just want to try, like, if this has a specific tag, call it laser end, then auto, you know, stop the laser regardless of anything. I can just, yeah, try doing such a thing just because. Blah, so, oh, that's not gonna bounce off, right? It's fine, whatever. Okay. So this, I'll give you a different color as well for funsies. Go like, have the dark blue. Whatever, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I just want to go. How would I test that real quick? I mean, so no, I still want to hit you as far as the raycast is concerned. Set the position. You can calculate the stuff. I guess you don't even need to bother calculating. If you determine, like, this is 100% the last point, then I can just skip calculating anything. If the thing we hit, can I get collider? Can I go straight to game object? No. Compare tag. Oh, haha. Laser and then just return, and you don't need to do anything else. And I'm fine having both these. Like, I could have and I could have if blah 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 or blah blah blah. But if this happens, I don't need to do any of these calculations. So it's like, don't bother. Actually, I don't want to do that calculation. That being said, this should be before this as well. And even this is extra physics that doesn't need to happen. So now that I actually look at it, I guess it could be like this, which makes it less needed for these to be separated, but whatever, I can save one subtraction calculation. Whoa. Whatever, it's fine. So that should, in theory, if I set stuff up right, yeah, that should, okay. Not like the thing, extra little bit of behavior that this can have, not that it's like super matters, but I can eat the laser effectively. But then also it has a distance that it will eventually stop, and that can be customized on a laser by laser basis if I really care. One thing I don't currently have is if a block is going to make the, if it's, right, this. It's 90, 90, and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't bounce back and forth super nice. Now, in theory, if the point is to bounce back and forth, it should just be using one of these N ones. I don't know if I want to put in a special clause of, like, you know, if the angle is, you know, exactly going in the other direction, then, like, then also that being conditioned to cut it off. But, nah, I won't worry about that right now. It's fine. I do need to go. It's 2 a.m. It's past 2. I really do gotta go. But yeah, lasers. So we at least got lasers, and the actual programming of it didn't take that long. Sorry, it took hours to get here. I'm just rambling about nonsense, but yeah, cool. I just double check. Even if this is on an angle, it shouldn't, like, do anything. It, like, looks graphically fine. The colors of this are something like the weird like red on blue and like whatever random colors we did. It does not matter. I don't know if I go to turn this into an actual animation. I don't know if maybe I'll take another crack at the colors and lighting. I mean, there's the whole thing of I've just been looking at this in top down. Let's see what this is looking like in 3 dimensions. Wow, look at that, lasers. Ooh, it's not perfect. It's definitely, you know, it's not perfect, but it's, yeah, it's fine. I'm happy with it for now. Like, just, yeah, I'm more concerned about the programming of it than the necessarily how it graphically is, but still having it be graphically good is good. Let me just, for funsies, be like, yeah, turn up. I can do this, and then none of it's going to be aligned properly. But cool that 3D is possible. I guess we also don't have anything that's, like, turning over, like, you know, we don't have anything that's like, because part of this is like, part of what this laser can do is actually recalculating, you know, we spinning mid thing, and it is cool. If, like, first, it is slowly moving. It is cool seeing the paths live recalculate. That can be part of like a potential animation we make. It's just it turns super slowly, so you can see the lasers like bouncing off of different things as it turns. It is cool. Oh yeah, right. The ground counts. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, going a bit of a loop there. That's cool. Yeah, cool. Fancy. I did, right, the one thing that's a thing, that might make this hard. This scene has different post-processing stuff going on compared to the other scene. If I turn some of that off, then the lasers just look like this. It's like, oh, boring. Okay, let's get away with this. Oh, whoa. Ooh. That's a style. I don't love having the tone mapping on because I don't want the ACES, whatever that even stands for. I don't necessarily want that tone mapping for the conveyor belt scene down there. It looks better without it in how it's really set up. Mainly against like the white walls. I like them being pure white walls, whereas like when you have the ACES thing on, it makes white a lot darker, which is like, I guess, sure, but like, yeah. So I can get away with our style that like works without it. That would be good. Cool, staring right down the laser like that. That's, yeah, cool. This is mildly interesting. This actually like, well, it's more vibrant, which is cool. The laser actually being like, it still looks glowy. Interesting, right? It's like, this is like white in the middle, kind of color on the sides. This is like color in the middle and like white on the sides somehow, which is kind of cool. It's different. It's something. I can continue, and this is all going to get undone. Actually, no, this part won't get undone when I go into play mode. I can mess with lasers and even make that a different color. I have to mess with, like, the intensity and stuff, but it's just... Oh, with this I can actually have red lasers. Before, the other one, like, red was wanting to only be, like, orange. I'm curious just to do a quick little bit of messing around. Because, yeah, actually this, then like, I don't know, this, whoa, nope, stay green. I can have this ground bit be, maybe not glowing that much, but it can be glowing like the tiniest bit. It's like, ooh, matrixy lasers, this is, you know, a style. Can I get this back to being white and have this still have the same kind of glowy effect that I want? I mean, like, almost, maybe it's like not quite as much, but if I wanted, specifically, I'm going for the same grid that down there is using, I hypothetically can. Oh, I also do that, but no. Yeah, the lasers do seem to potentially work better against dark background, which, you know, makes sense, I guess, but... I am trying to do a bit of practice with, like, part of why that's, like, the grid down there is a white and black. I'm trying to do a bit more messing around with, like, having stuff that's like black and white but still looks good because of like the contrast and stuff with like the shadows or whatever. This thing doesn't set, like the laser here isn't set to cast shadows. That was a thing I could have done. One also style is going for like the blueprint sort of style of the, you know, blue and white potentially. It's a style. I mean, I can keep messing around with this for hours, just messing with different, whatever I want this to look like. I don't know if what we're currently looking at is better or worse than we started. I don't know. I mean, if I'm just making standard lasers, like the classic... Ooh, that's kind of... The classic laser color is a red. But, Okay, this color I've happened to make, I actually quite like. This actually looks quite cool. Making stuff that's more like unique or whatever is interesting. I could do this with the red. Oh, whoa, or that color. Whoa, okay. Even the ground could be. I don't know if any kind of two color works. I feel like one of them should be black and white. Oh, even that being black is pretty interesting. Make it slightly above black. Sure, wasn't expecting this to be the color I go with. I'm doing a bit more messing around just for fun. Struggling to keep my eyes open though. I'm getting quite tired. I really should end things off. Oh, I don't know. Could go for like a purple. I don't know. I just happen to go across this color. It's like, yeah, a thing. It's the color of Patrick, kind of. I don't know. This doesn't matter that much. I can also just, if I want to make the lasers two different colors, I can. You know, let's just do that for fun. A lot of this is gonna get undone when I go to play mode, but it's fine. Let's go just laser 2. The materials should all stay, actually. So, can I drag and drop this onto this and expect it to work? Yeah. Let's see if I can just get 2 laser colors that like. Yeah. Go ahead to play mode. I'm gonna have to apply it to that laser specifically. Let's do that. And then we can say this is good enough that like, yeah. And then I'll, yeah, it can be good enough to like, yeah, end things off now. Wow, lasers, cool. Actually, I want to just see a quick little bit of like this laser. I want to see them cross paths just a little bit. Didn't matter as much when they were the same, but curious of what it kind of is gonna look like. Could put this like up here. Yeah, I don't know. It looks fine. Yeah, it does seem the case there's just like one overpowers the other. Doesn't look bad though. So because of what I just did, I'm just gonna go take you and go copy, play mode, and paste, and then delete the originals. Wait, you didn't. Wait, what? Wall 2 go. Wait, how'd you copy the other position? I thought I specifically. Oh, right. Oh, I just realized because I copied the laser itself. The laser itself is getting the weird positions, except it's not. What? Oh, because you're not that. That's this guy. I basically just wanted the rotation. But wait, you undid your turning as well. What the heck? Weird. Okay, let me just back up and then I thought I could cheat it, but it's being very strange. I'll just do it manually and hope for the best. So this seemed to have to be turned like, and this will probably be the last thing you do, and then we'll wrap things up. This could be I could have it even like in editor, like does debug lines or whatever. Maybe that's the thing that could be part of next time. Oh, you also undid the colors. So I mean, I can look visually in the editor. This is 84. I can at least copy that and paste it. Yeah, I guess it doesn't seem to like copying objects at runtime. Won't stop me from doing it, but yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Hey, good enough. Now the laser itself, I want to just go give you this. Wait, I don't. Oh, you got that. Oh, what the heck? Wait, what did you just do? A material variant. Oh, geez. Yeah, no. Right, that is a thing that you can do. I don't actually know exactly how that works, but interesting. Interesting conceptually. Okay, so cool. Lasers and the bouncing and the way that it works with like the distance and stuff and. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with how this turned out, and they look decent enough, and the programming's cool, and like, then I could make more of a situation, like gameplay thing with this. I could do more with like, the things that bouncing off of have to be mirrors or whatever. In a game context, I could have stuff that like, oh, only lasers kind of go through this glass or whatever, and then like the player cannot. Stuff like that. I don't need to go that overboard with this. This is just a fun little like, hey, here's a thing, let's do it, and like, there's another thing off my list, like, woo, thing I've done. as I said, I went into this being like this. I don't think this will be the super hardest thing to do ever, and then it wasn't that bad. And I did recursion, which I haven't done in a million years, so there's that as well, I guess. Yeah, so this turned out good. I guess we are, gonna. I'm super tired now. I really need to end things off before I just fall asleep in my chair. Imagine that. Nah, that's not gonna happen, but like, okay. Yeah. 2 viewers. We're not gonna bring in one today. So yeah, as I said, I don't know if this is gonna be my last stream before I move. If it is, then yeah, I'll be gone for a bit, but not forever. At least I think it is hard to judge because how much like stuff involved with moving and whatever. Like beyond just moving boxes, everything I do to sort of get all set up again. I'm hoping that there might be at least one more stream between now and then, and if there is, I gotta figure out what that's actually gonna be. If I didn't finish this laser stuff, then it would have been that. I don't know if I consider this laser stuff finished. I might figure out like an additional, like, here's an extra step of a thing we do with these lasers, and then do more stuff with that. Like maybe turning this into something we do with down there, or at least having something in this test scene where something's actually moving to show that the lasers like recalculate. Could be cool. Often when games have like lasers, you'll have a laser receptacle of like, hey, if the end of the laser is touching this thing, then something happens, like a door opens. Could potentially do something like that as well. Do that and then work that into something with down there, a new animation thing we make. I don't know. Hard to say, but I can do some thinking about it and see if I come up with anything. If I don't, then I'll figure something else out. I did say with my tutorials, there's some sort of custom tools things that I want to make with that, so I could start doing that. I don't need to have my the next tutorial fully planned before I do that. I can do some of that beforehand. Because I've done enough planning to know some of the stuff I'm going to need. So, we'll see. I got to figure that out. But if the stream doesn't happen, then it doesn't. And if it does, then it does. Then, yeah, you'll see me then. But then after that, then, like, hopefully by next month I'll be in a state where I can be streaming more consistently or whatever. And then stuff will be happening a lot faster in terms of getting a lot of this stuff done. And that'll be cool. Yeah, and then with the thing of making more YouTube videos and getting more stuff out there, that'll just be cool, more content rather than just all this like testing stuff actually completing. Like then that counts as more like actually having started things and finished them, and like that'll be cool. Have more completed finished products or whatever. But anyways, I've rambled a lot here in this stream, so I'm gonna cut me off and we're gonna end things off here for now, and then next time we'll be making whatever it is we're making. I'll be figuring that stuff and stuff out, and then we're making even more cool stuff from there. So look forward to that. So anyways, I think that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. Alright, well, either see you in a couple days or in a couple weeks, depending on, the movie stuff. We'll see how busy I end up getting. But anyways, see ya!